Welcome back to another episode of Conductor Sunday Livestream, our second live stream back from taking a big pause. I'm joined by these amazing guests, George the Disney Italiano from Hollow Gelato, the one and only Orange Grove 55 with his crazy wild hair, and the one and only Tommy ToonWorld with his world famous food reviews. How are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Hey, we're doing great, man. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We got a West Coast edition right here, right?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
loving it. I'm loving it.
But
every day.
I'm going to start with George, the Disney Italiano. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me over at Hollow Gelato, where Abby and I have the scoops on all things theme parks, Disney, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, Disney Cruise Line, you name it. And you could also find us on Instagram under Hollow Gelato.
Absolutely. And the one and only Orange Grove 55 with that wild, amazing hair. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. My hair is doing fantastic. I conditioned last night. It's really wavy. I love it. I love it. It's working out. It's working out, you know. But no, I love you guys. I love you guys. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Obviously Johnny Ace, Foxglove, Kiki and Luca, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for joining, Arlene. But yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, where I'm talking a lot of theme park stuff, really, and even studio stuff. We talk a lot about the studio side, the corporate side, all things entertainment at Orange Grove 55.
Absolutely. Always great to have you on. And the one and only Tommy ToonWorld with, again, his amazing food reviews, world famous. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm happy to be back on Conductor Live. What's up? So, you can find me on Tommy ToonWorld on YouTube. That's where all my food reviews are at. Got some theme park stuff and some Vegas stuff for sure. Then on Instagram at TommyToon_ and TikTok at TommyToon_world. So let's lock in.
Absolutely. And we got a lot to talk about. Our topics tonight, including an emergency topic that only came by several hours ago, which was from Universal Hollywood, but we will get into that. But our first topic we're going to talk about is Disneyland Forward, because we were talking just before we went live. George, the Disney Italiano, had some viewpoints that he wants to go over about what we can see with construction. And it's this topic's gonna kind of collide with another topic about the construction and what we could see going forward. So I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to let George, the Disney Italiano, take it away.
You're on mute, man.
Thank you. As I was saying, thank you, good sir. What we were talking prior to going live was kind of like a little bit of a comparison about, people hitting on the train of like Disneyland or Walt Disney World, which one's better, and I think honestly, it depends on your point of view of it. I think if you just break down the parks in Walt Disney World, if you just match up Disneyland Park with Magic Kingdom, Disneyland has it, Don Pat. Even I'd have to say Animal Kingdom. I love Animal Kingdom. It's actually my favorite park out of Walt Disney World's 4 parks, but you put it up against Disneyland, I don't know, you still have a little bit more variety there. But when you put the whole entire Walt Disney World Resort up against Disneyland, that's where you get a completely different immersive experience. And no one would really know until you actually experience it yourself when you're staying in the Disney bubble, in a Disney resort hotel. You go around Disney Springs, you resort hop. There's a lot of recreational outdoor activities that you can do. You can do motorboating. You can do, not that kind of motorboating, folks.
I know. And I was going to say, you said a lot of recreational activities in and out of the hotel room, right, George? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, and you could pick the litter on that one because they have over 30 plus hotels. So I mean,
oh my god.
So, but in any case, so if you take the whole resort as a whole and put it up against Disneyland, Disneyland is mighty. It's a small park, but it's very mighty. But when you're going up against a whole entire resort complex,
Yeah.
That's where you can start kind of weighing in of like what would be better for a vacation. Now, for us as locals and everyone else that is a California local, they end up going to Disneyland. They do a day at Disneyland. They go back in a couple weeks, you know, and what have you. But I think Disney is wanting to get out of that. It's a locals park. It's a locals hangout. They want people, you know, to travel, whether it's international, out of state. And how do you do that? You expand the resort. And how do you expand the resort? You add more capacity to your already existing theme parks, add in another hotel. But if you add in another hotel, what I think, honestly, the main goal for Disneyland forward is that third gate. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, because a lot of people don't watch all our lives and all our videos. But I think that they're going to announce, not build, just announce the third gate much sooner than later. I think before they start bleeding into the Simba lot. And that's why I feel like Avatar isn't going into the Simba lot.
Well, and here's the thing, George. I was at Universal Hollywood today. I spent the whole day there, and I was actually sitting there. I actually was talking to this couple from Maryland, really sweet couple, young couple, and they were saying that like they were here at Universal Hollywood visiting from Maryland, right? And you bring up a great point. They were saying like, you know, I asked them, "Are you going to go to Disneyland?" And they said no, because they said that we heard that Disney World is so much better. And you know how I am, George. You know, I'm a Cali guy. Hi. You know, I'm not going to let that sit. You know what I'm saying? So I told the girl, I'm like, hey, look, you know what? Honestly, like Walt Disney World, yes, it's bigger. It is bigger, but our parks have more rides. Disneyland was the first park ever built by Walt Disney, and it's been around the longest. And we have a lot of rides, more than any other Disney park. And she was really surprised by that. And see, Disney does a really bad job at like, kind of like letting people know like Disneyland is not just like a small diet version of Walt Disney World. It's a very unique experience. And for me to have to explain this to this couple, and I don't mind doing it. I'm a social guy. I have no problem talking to people, but the fact that I have to do that and Disney isn't doing that is frustrating. That's why we don't get the tourism that we should, because Disney isn't doing their job in terms of getting people to Anaheim. I mean, look, this is what's frustrating. The opening day speech was an inspiration to all the world, not an inspiration to Southern California. You know what I'm saying? But Disney seems to forget that a lot of times, and it's very annoying, in my opinion.
Well, and that is also the common misconception on the other side of the spectrum, because that's what took me. Sorry, we got Hey Bricky in the house. Bigger doesn't mean better.
Exactly. No, he's right. He's right.
And that is the common misconception on the other side of the spectrum, because people think automatically, since Disneyland is much smaller than Walt Disney World as a whole, they're like, okay, yeah, why travel all the way to California to see that? And honestly, that was what was told to me for many years. And that's why I was such a late bloomer going to Disneyland. I didn't make it out there till my 21st birthday. Because I'm thinking, okay, if I've been to Walt Disney World, what is the purpose of me spending more money to go cross country to see something smaller? Which, even if it's smaller, it's a completely different feel than Walt Disney World.
Yes, and that's exactly the same mindset this couple had. They were like, why are we going to bother with Disneyland because Disney World? And it's like, no, I had to tell them, like, no, give it a shot. I'm telling you, it's different. It's a different vibe. Disneyland has a lot of rides. It's a different thing, you know? And she was very open. The husband didn't speak a lot of English, to be honest with you. So I was talking more to the wife, and she was really receptive of like, okay, I'm kind of interested now in Disneyland. But I mean, I think Disney in general has done a really poor job at sort of marketing this resort to people outside of California. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the biggest problems. Look, I'm not saying that like, you know, they should like completely abandon the locals market. They should absolutely lean into locals, right? We're all locals here. But at the end of the day, though, I think the tourism market, there's a lot that you can kind of tap into there on Disney's end, and they really haven't. You know, we see a lot of discounts on the SoCal locals and even the California locals, but we don't see a lot of incentives for out of country, out of state. And I would love to see more of that. And I think our resort, I'm proud of our resort, man. I love Disneyland. I want the world to come and enjoy it. And it makes me sad when I hear a couple like that say, we're going to skip Disneyland because we heard Disney World is better. Come on, you know, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? For me personally, as a diehard Disneyland fan, that makes me sad, you know, because you're missing out.
You are. You see that's the thing. You know, the only difference I see with Walt Disney World, like you gentlemen said, is basically things we already have out here, just amplified and bigger. You know, don't get me wrong, they have some attractions, and Epcot's never going to be replicated. That's just unique compared to anything else. But on the other hand, you know, I get it in a way. You know, I get both sides. You know, Disneyland is, the way I see it, being someone that lives in SoCal on the West Coast. Shout out West Coast team. But no, you know, Disneyland's a staple, and that's one thing. And I want to shout out to Hey Bricky, who joined the chat. You know,
Yes.
that's why I love his videos, both on Hey Bricky and Bricky Vlogs, because a lot of his videos go into that nostalgic history, and I love that. And Disneyland is so rich with history. It's something. It's a must. If you're visiting SoCal, it's a must do. It really is. It's something you have to see in person. But on the other hand, though, you know, and again, not to just, you know, play devil's advocate and blame Disney for everything, but when you go to Disney, because of the reservation system, with people constantly having to be on their phones, there are times, and I'm going to be honest with you, there are times that the magic doesn't feel as magical as it used to, because you're having to literally book reservations weeks and weeks, if not months in advance, to get into the park. Then you're on your phone if you want to do lightning lane, so you're constantly on your phone. Then, you know, if you want to mobile order food or do the mobile order for merch, that's another stress. And the
Well,
whole point of, you know, going into Disneyland is to kind of be immersed in that fantasy and not have to be on your phone.
no, you're right. You're right, Conductor. You bring up a lot of great points here. The pandemic is what really triggered a lot of that stuff, right? With the reservations and all this weirdness, right? If you could, Conductor, if you can just bring up Ben Zacuto's latest comment on perfect. Thank you. Actually, Ben, I agree with you. As much as I'm a Westcott guy, I want Westcott, but he says here, my hot take is that I don't think Westcott for Disneyland Third Gate would bring international guests as much as it would domestic and locals. And you're probably right about that, because here's the thing, right? Westcott, what is it going to be? It's going to be probably a World Showcase park. At least that's what it was initially, the concept, right?
Yeah.
The locals out here in California are going to eat that up, dude. I mean, the whole drink around the world thing and all those festivals, bringing that out here to California, dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be a huge hit with key holders. But is that going to be something that, like, you know, like the international guests, like from Japan or Australia, are they going to be digging that? I don't really know. I mean, probably to some degree, but I mean, Ben probably isn't too wrong on that, where it's like, it probably will be a lot of locals, because I can see the locals really eating that up, you know?
And then Bricky makes a good point as well. I love Disneyland with all my heart. It's not what it once was. The iOS version of Disneyland has ruined the magic. Right. And I can't agree more. Again, when you go, I kind of feel like it's rush, stress, and constantly on my phone. Universal, don't get me wrong, they're guilty of it a little bit. I'm not gonna let Universal get off the leash on that one. But when there's a comparison issue, Disneyland takes the cake on that one, because it's constantly you're on your phone to book the next reservation for a lightning lane, or you're trying to, you know, get food, or you're trying to get into the park, or you're trying to. It's just crazy. And like Bricky said, and again, I love his mind. I love how he thinks. An iOS version is ruining the magic. It is.
No, it is. It's a lot. It's a lot. You're on your phone a whole lot. What I mean, your phone dies at Disneyland, and you're asked out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you depend on your phone so much at Disneyland Resort, way too much. Like, I was at Universal today. I didn't really have to use my phone at Universal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just a different situation. But here's the thing too, though. Disney's in a kind of a different kind of dilemma than Universal, right? For example, the demand, even though Universal is doing amazing things and they really are stepping it up, the demand for Disneyland is still much higher. So, you know, Disney does have to put some kind of barriers to entry to that experience. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Like, it's getting more expensive, yes, but if it was cheaper, what would the experience be like at Disneyland, right? Like, if you really brought that price down, it would be a horrible experience in terms of the crowding. And okay, well, how do you fix the crowding? Well, you have to really ramp up the reservation system and mitigate it that way. Well, people don't want that either. So there's a lot of pitfalls here with this, that Universal doesn't really have to deal with as much. Now, I do think that's going to change. I do think Universal is stepping it up, and I do think that Universal is actually going to have a demand issue like Disney's having eventually. But right now, they're not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, 100%. I just want to bring up I just want to bring up Bricky's comment. He said Disneyland gets a lot of Asian and South American visitors, while Disney World gets most European tourists, and that's all based on distance and affordability. So it makes sense. But I like Webba's comment, because I was on your channel, OG, the other night, and he was saying, how the different countries, half of them go to a Walt Disney World because it's a shorter distance. The other half go to Disneyland. But again, the biggest problem I see is, there's a backstory why Disney is doing the price increases, not only to Walt Disney World, but mainly at Disneyland, because we can all come to agreement when it comes to Disneyland and DCA at the moment. It's a locals resort. It's not a tourist resort, and Disney doesn't want that, because one of the things that I've heard people say, and I think you, OG, and George have both said it, is when, Magic Key holders go in there, they're not worried about hitting every attraction. They're not worried about buying food and merch. They're not worried about paying for extra experiences, because they're just basically telling themselves, hey, I can come back next week and do that attraction, and I don't have to worry about squeezing in, instead of that family of four from, let's say, Minnesota or some that comes down, pays a fortune, stays on property, and then all of a sudden they're in kind of rush mode to hit all the attractions.
Right. No, absolutely. And I want to give a big shout out to Theme Park Wizard. I was actually at Universal today with Wizard and our almighty coasters, Alan. And we had a great, we recorded some content over there, but big shout out to Wizard, man. Had a good time with you guys today, Wizard. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. And Wizard is one of our moderators here on Theme Park Conductor. So shout out to him, and shout out to Orange Go 55, Tommy Toon World, and George the Disney Italiano for also being moderators on the channel. You guys are all awesome. But I want to ask you, because right at the beginning, right when we're talking about, George was talking about the Toy Story parking lot. For many of you that don't know what we're referring to with the third gate, this is the area they're looking at right here. So when George was saying about, whoever the next CEO is, we could see a possible announcement, not movement, but announcement, probably, I want to say this D23 or the next D23, but I'm thinking the third D23 out, which is what, 2030 or 2032. We can hear about this third gate. George, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think as far as like for the third gate, as I said, would probably maybe get an announcement like towards the second half of the 10-year, $60 billion promise. Now, again, I'm not saying that right then and there, boom, they're going to start construction, but I think we might start getting some information that they're kind of teasing us with, that is the road that they're going to end up doing. Because again, as I said, I mentioned this before and I'll mention it again. When we were staying at the timeshare for my birthday weekend, that someone working actually there in the timeshare. Now, again, you can kind of take this with a grain of salt. You don't really know how much it goes through from like one person to the next, but they have a shuttle that goes over to the Toy Story parking lot that then picks you up. Disney picks you up at the Toy Story lot to take you over to the main resort. And starting next year, they're not having the shuttle pick you up at the timeshare to go over to the Toy Story lot, and they said specifically it's because of a new hotel and a new theme park.
Conductor.
Sure.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry, brother. If you could bring up Kiki and Luca's comment about to everyone.
Yeah. Let me.
I want to address this because I actually, Kiki and Luca, you brought this up on my stream the other night. This is the thing that bothers me about fans, okay, in general. And I'm a fan, so I'm not like talking shit. It's like a self-aware thing, right? A lot of people will say a lot of stuff. Kiki and Luca, this is impossible. This is not going to happen. I've heard this in the community for so long now, and I'm telling you right now, this Toy Story lot will become a third park. People are saying it's going to be shopping because that was the concept art. So people take everything so literally. Disney's not going to show their hand right away. And there's no way with brick and mortar retail, like basically a melting ice cube dying on the vine, and you have garden walk across the way, and you have downtown Disney, and you have the OC vibe. There is zero chance they're going to add another mall in the mix. This will be a theme park. It is zoned for theme park space already. They have the authorization by the city to make a park here. It's not going to be another mall. It doesn't even make sense. They're building OC Vibe right across the street, and we already have Garden Walk and downtown Disney. Why would you add another mall to this mix? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, see, you make a great point, and I'm going to get to Tommy here in a second, but you make a great point because malls are the past. Malls are the dying past, as I call it, because everyone does online shopping nowadays. You know, with Amazon, with other online stores, or even stores that you can physically go to, but people prefer to buy stuff online. You know, malls are just a dying dinosaur in a way. So to build another mall is very stupid, and it would be a waste of space for Disney. So I personally don't think they're going to do that. Now, to answer George's comment, is the mere fact that, you know, he was told this information, but we might not see any action in this parking lot for theme park space for another 8 to 10 years from now. But what I think is going to happen, the reason why the buses aren't going to go to that location, it could be a staging area for construction materials for what's going on for Avatar, what's going on for Coco, what's going on for, well, maybe not the 2 Avengers rides because they got enough space to, you know, have materials on site, but the other 2 projects, and then whatever other projects they're doing, like the Sky Bridge, the Eastern Gateway parking lot. I think Toy Story is going to be like a material type, you know, lot where they're going to stage stuff in that parking lot and just truck it in every single day. That's what I personally think.
I do want to address Rogue Attractions comment. Say that to the revenue Disney gets from Disney Springs. I understand that, Rogue, but here's the thing: at Disneyland Resort, we are really limited in regards to how much space we have. And at Disney World, you guys have endless room to kind of do the Disney Springs thing, along with 4 theme parks and countless resorts. We don't have that luxury. So when space is at a premium and very limited, and you're going to dedicate 75 acres to a mall, when you have a mall across the street and you have a mall at Disney, it just seems a little redundant, and you're never going to find this much land in one spot ever again in Anaheim. I just find it hard to believe that they would ever make this a mall. And and Wizard brings it up too. Not every retail thing is dying, but it's getting harder and harder. Yeah, specialty stuff like maybe like Beacon Barrel or Trader Sam's, those kind of niche kind of things are doing well. But by and large, a lot of malls across the country are not surviving. A lot of them are shutting down. I mean, I know, it's a pretty common thing. So, I mean, I know a big retailer recently, Forever 21, just shut down. You know, it's not what it once was. And yes, you can have like these niche sort of like experiences, you know, like a Trader Sam's or what have you. But how many of those are you going to be able to build in 75 acres? I mean, you can only do so many of those, you know, and I don't know, in my opinion, but we'll see.
Definitely. And I wanted to give a shout out to Malin Lizelle for the $1.99 super chat. Always great hanging out with her. Can't wait to hang out with her again. She's always a lot of fun when we're at the parks. But Tommy, I want to go to you because I want to get your opinion on this. With with Toy Story possibly being announced the third gate, what's going on at Disneyland, what's your opinion so far on what we've talked about?
Man, you guys all have a lot of valid points, and you guys are the diehards, and you guys know the ins and outs of this. But like looking in, I like George's viewpoint, how he's saying that we probably will get an announcement for the third theme park before anything else. And with Coco and Avatar and everything that they're building, they're trying to get stuff done before the Olympics starts in 2028. If they announce that, the third gate, they probably shouldn't start it right away, right? Because they're trying to fix the city of LA for that mass tourism, from Olympics. It's something about, a city that holds the Olympics brings a lot of these people in. They gentrify a lot of stuff. So I feel like, they're going to get all this Coco stuff done. And it's like what OG was saying. He was talking to a couple and they were kind of, on the fence with going to Disneyland. But hey, they were at Universal Studios, and, why not just go to Universal Studios in Orlando if it's like that? There's something about going to the original, like Disneyland, like it's the original idea from Walt himself. Of course, Disney World and Epcot and that stuff is too. But like for me, I can't wait to go to Disney World and Universal and all that. We're going to do that next year. I'm going to knock all that out, and we should revisit the comparison thing. But like, to me, it's, Disneyland presents itself as this unit, like as a resort, right? And of course, DCA is kind of getting redundant with people, and that's why, we're really insisting on this third gate. And we really want to know what it's going to be. We talk about Westcott and everything, and will it bring the tourists in? I was with OG, I think, or I was with George, actually, excuse me, and we had a French couple behind us when we were waiting in line for some ride. So, I feel like the tourism is there. Then the next day, I went to Universal during the day, and it was a lot of people of Asian descent, speaking different languages and stuff. I feel like the vibe out here is totally different. Of course, I need to hit Florida to be able to compare completely. But for me, this third gate is inevitable, like you guys said. I don't really need shopping, like we got downtown Disney that's just expanding constantly. They're adding restaurants nonstop, the Gordon Ramsay, everything, that's our Disney Springs. Of course, it's not the same. And like I said, I can't wait to experience it. But I just like George's opinion and OG's opinion on everything. And then Conductor, you have a good idea with that too, with the parking lot. It's just, we need the other rides and everything completed first with construction before we start anything else. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think?
And I will say this too, just speaking for Universal Hollywood, because Tommy, you had mentioned like you see a lot of like international people over there, which I've seen a lot of people, actually more than Disneyland. But recently, as you had mentioned, like when we saw that that French couple, so it's starting to kind of, leak into Disneyland. But I think as far as with Universal Hollywood, I think the reason why there's a lot more international guests going there, I don't necessarily think that they're flying over to do Universal. I feel like Universal is just the spot while they're on their vacation.
Sure.
Like in LA, because a lot of international travelers come over for the tours. They go on the double-decker bus so they could see the celebrity homes. They go to the Grauman's Chinese Theater where they put all their handprints and everything. So while they're in the area, they're like, hey, here's Universal, and I'm for sure a lot of the tour guides, encourage
So George, what's better then? What's better, like having the tourism come to LA for something else and then them spend their money at Universal, or them coming to this LA region for Disney and then just sticking in that region of Anaheim?
Yeah.
And I think that's where Universal kind of has a little bit more of the edge than Disneyland, because I feel like people specifically would travel to Anaheim for Disneyland. Like no one's gonna travel to Anaheim to say, hey, I want to eat at Denny's, you know, in the Anaheim region. Like,
hey, speak for yourself, bro. I mean, yeah, you know, that chicken fried steak is pretty good, dude.
I love that chicken fried steak, but I wouldn't fly on a plane to go get it. So,
oh my gosh.
So for me, when it comes to Universal, I don't necessarily think, not for everybody, but I'm just saying, I think a big chunk that they end up in the park at Universal is because they're already coming out for the LA vibe. That's what they want. It's like, okay.
It depends on the season too, because people are flying out here for HHN for sure.
Well, 100%. And here's the thing. Here's the thing too, though. To be fair, I mean, I agree with you, George. I 100% agree with you. I think people come down to California, and Universal's part of that pie, the overall pie. Yeah. But I would have to say the same about Disneyland, though. Like, I don't think people necessarily fly out here just for Disney. I think when people come from, like, say, like we were saying, Asia and stuff, I think they're coming for Disneyland and the other stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about Disneyland Resort. I think it kind of goes both ways.
Trying to think. Yes, but I feel like when I compare the two between Universal and Disneyland, which again, I'm starting to see that now more. I'm starting to see a lot more international visits, which that could be very well the case, but I feel as if let me see if I can say this with making sense. They come for the LA vibe, they go to Universal, and then while they're here at Universal, they're like, okay, let's make a day at Disneyland. So it's almost like a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer. Because when Mademoiselle and I were at Universal, they got mixed up and they thought that Star Wars was at Universal.
Oh, geez.
So they ended up flying all the way over for Universal.
Oh, boy.
I hope that they got to extend their trip to go to Disneyland, because that would have really sucked, because they literally spoke like 5% English. Like they understood it, but they couldn't speak it.
Yeah.
And they had 2 young kids.
Sure.
I mean, I felt for the kids because they seemed very disappointed. But as far as the adults, like you have to do your research.
Right. No, dude, it's like buying a Drake album and thinking you're gonna get this song.
Hi. Monster Hunter Beat Ho.
Exactly. No. You guys make a valid point, and again, it's just when the Olympics are going to be here in about
really quick, Conductor,
Sure.
not to cut you off, and I'm glad you actually said that, because that was the thing I was going to say. I feel like when the Olympics come, I think it'll help Disneyland, but I think Universal is going to get the boom on that one, and I feel like that's why Universal is announcing their plans for the hotel,
right,
the new attractions that are eventually going to come, because I feel like they're setting it up for 2028,
and they are. You know, Universal has already confirmed that they are going to be the host, and they are going to have all the media on property for the Olympics. It's going to be the hub. So Universal is going to be the hotspot. Hollywood's going to be the hotspot. You know, so that's something Universal is going to take advantage of. And again, obviously people are going to go to Disneyland because, you know, like I said, when you're coming from out of state or out of the country, Disneyland is a staple no matter what. But again, it's kind of hard doing the balancing act. But I want to go to Bricky's comment, and this is kind of about the Toy Story parking lot, the third gate. He says, here's the problem with announcing it too early. People stop booking vacations because they decide we will wait until the new park is done, so they won't announce it until it's about 12 to 18 months away. And I want to answer Bricky's comment with another comment, kind of off subject, is about the Avatar land. And Bricky, if you're still watching, I do want to let you know, if I haven't told you already in the parks, when you did that video kind of explain the concept art on how Avatar could possibly be laid out with the green space, you walk through the green space, and then Avatar is brilliant. So I do have to give you a shout out for that. But you know, the one thing I can see with that, and we talked about it, I talked about it on Orange Grove 55's video the other night, and I talked with George as well, was with Avatar, kind of like the mistake they made with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is, obviously they're going to open with one attraction, but when you look at the concept art, it's pretty massive just to have one e-ticket attraction. What I think they're going to do is they're going to open the e-ticket attraction with the land, but they're going to set up the infrastructure for a second attraction. They're not going to announce it, hopefully, and they're not going to get people's hopes up, because the biggest problem with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was obviously Millennium Falcon was going to be the opening day attraction, but they also announced Rise of the Resistance, but Rise of the Resistance didn't open until later on. The hype died off because of that.
Right. Well, that's why you saw it was very soft. Attendance was soft when Galaxy's Edge opened because people were waiting until Rise of the Resistance opened.
They have pills for that.
Exactly. Exactly. George takes them every night, so he knows.
Dude, I don't need that in that department.
But in all seriousness, though, like I think what's going to happen here, because think about it, right? We have 2 Avengers rides coming, and we have Coco Boat ride, and then we have the Pandora ride, right?
Yeah.
I think considering the fact that we have the 2 Avengers and we have Coco, I think we're okay with one Pandora ride. However, though, and I think I said this in the live chat on your live show, Conductor, the other night. I think if it was just Pandora coming and we didn't have the Avengers and we didn't have Coco, I think you would need to have 2 rides opening with Pandora. I think that they get a little bit of a pass for me personally.
Sure.
It's all subjective, but a little bit of a pass for me because there's a ton of other stuff coming like in the lead up to this new land. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of forgiving.
You know how many of my friends do not care about Avatar? They don't care about the trailer. They don't care about the movies. They don't care about the land. It's weird, too. A lot of people complain about Avatar and James Cameron, at least in my bubble. So, like, for me, DCA, I love Avatar, by the way. So I'm the one that defends it. But DCA is getting these 2 teenager type things. Of course, Avengers kids love Marvel. But I feel like Coco is the kid attraction. Of course, we all love Coco, and that's one of the top Pixar movies out. But like, I feel like that is like big bank on that. Of course, they put all this money into Robert Downey Jr., giving him a jet and everything to be Doctor Doom and come back. So of course they're going to put him on that Kuka arm and have his voiceover and everything in there. And it works because we got Tom Holland for Spider-Man. But I feel like Coco is almost like the sleeper cream of the crop. Like, that's going to be the boat ride that you're going through. Everybody, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Like, are you just for Avatar, Avengers, or Coco? Like, what's the order?
I'm juiced for Avatar the most. I was actually on Bricky's channel the other day. We talked about this. That's like the thing I'm most excited for is Avatar, because I'm really curious how they work this into the DCA overall. And on top of that, I love the one they did in Animal Kingdom. So I'm really hyped for this land. The other thing too that's kind of interesting, because Bricky mentioned in the chat Avatar box office crushes. He's right. Both movies made $2 billion each, which is interesting, 100%. Right? Yeah, it's interesting though, because but Tommy, you also have a great point too when you say people don't really care about the franchise. I feel like it's weird. Like, these movies make a lot of money, but they don't really move the needle culturally though. Like, I don't feel like people are like into it like they are like the MCU or Harry Potter and stuff, right? It's like a different kind of thing. Like, I think people go to the theater for it for like the experience, but no one's like deep diving into like the Na'vi and all the lore and all that, right? It's like a different kind of fandom, I think, right? Is that fair, Tommy? Or would you? Yeah,
like, you don't have people walking around with Avatar tattoos, but you got Marvel and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to explain because it wasn't a comic book, so it's hard to explain. But I feel like I like Avatar, so don't get me wrong.
See, and Bricky says Avatar at DCA aligns with the new mini single IP land trend, like Paris with The Lion King and Frozen. I think Disney is starting to kind of go down that route. And I think that's probably why for a long time when they used the term Avatar experience, where a lot of people were thinking it was a walkthrough, but I think they use experience because technically it's maybe not a full-fledged land. I'm optimistic about it. I love Avatar. I'm like one of the very few that actually does love the franchise. I love the movies. I love the we should get Avatar tattoos. But
Bricky, it's too late. I got a banshee right. No, never mind. I'm just kidding.
Oh, whoa. Well,
well, I ran out of room because I got Chip and Dale in between like both my thighs, grabbing for the nuts.
whoa.
Shouldn't have brought up the tattoo thing.
But I'm hesitant a little bit of this land just because of the placement. Yeah. I still, for the life of me, no matter how much we talk about it, how much we break it down, I still can't see Pandora where it is. Now, again, I do know, obviously, when they knock down all the buildings and everything, that opens up the room for it. I just don't know how it's going to mesh well, because when you actually look at the piece of concept art of the Eastern Gateway, you see Pandora's ass, which is right up against to where the bus load unload area is. So that's telling me they're not running Pandora all the way through like we were assuming. So majority of the land is going to be in the backlot area.
Yeah.
So how much of that is going to bleed into Hollywood land, if not any? That other piece of concept art that you had, Conductor, I mean, for me, maybe it basically covers the entire backlot. Maybe that whole thing is the backlot and a little bit into the far end of Hollywood land.
Yeah, and Mischief Dragon says, I'm just concerned about the transition. And I agree with you. Like acreage-wise, we have the room. I mean, if you go on Google Maps, you can do the acreage, but between the bus load and the other Hollywood Studios area, it's plenty of room to fit in Avatar land. But sure, I'm concerned about how are they gonna massage this into the existing stuff? And that's why I'm kind of like an all or nothing kind of guy. I would kind of almost prefer, at least right now, not knowing what they're going to do, I would almost rather prefer them just to get rid of all of Hollywood land and just put Pandora in the whole thing. Because I feel like when you have to have it coexist with Hollywood land, that's where it gets messier, so to speak.
And the storytelling between the two different IPs is kind of hard to justify. So this is what I think, and I said it on George's live stream about a week ago. And I know Bricky did a video on this, talking about Hollywood land, talking about how much a Hollywood Boulevard, as we can see on Google Maps, is going to go away to kind of fit that Avatar experience, even with the green space. But what I think is going to happen is, because we're not going to see construction for Avatar and the completion of Avatar until after the Olympics. So it might not open until 2030. It's a possibility. It's a good possibility. And if that's the case, 5 years from now, I know they poured money into PhilharMagic because that's an indoor show with the new projections and all that. And Berkey reported that on one of his videos. Is 5 years from now, is it still going to grab people's attention to go in there? Or is it just going to be a lost leader like the other theater to the right of Hollywood land? Well,
and Mademoiselle says, no, we need the streets of Hollywood land. But I mean, respectfully, Mademoiselle, I don't really know why we need it. Like, what's in Hollywood land right now that is so necessary? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like everything is like, I mean, off the page, you can put another gift shop anywhere else. I mean, I guess you lose the animation building, but I mean,
you lose schmoozies, right?
You lose schmoozies, but you can move that. That menu can go anywhere.
Sure,
I mean. I just feel like there's not a whole lot of there right now to like
the fact that they're refurbing Mickey's PhilharMagic, they're replacing the seats, says that it's not going anywhere. So there has to be some form of Hollywood land that's going to stay. Otherwise, because if you're not going to turn all of it into Pandora and you're going to leave Mickey's PhilharMagic. So what are they going to do? They're going to circumcise the Hollywood strip and stop it like that. See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where is the cutoff? Where is the transition? Because even if they do cut off to the transition of PhilharMagic, and then you have Mission Breakout on the other side. Now, I do know, OG, you had mentioned, because you still kind of got like that outer space kind of thing.
Sure.
But I don't know. It just, when I walk into Pandora, and you guys will see it in March, you guys will literally see the transition when you cross over the bridge, you don't get into Pandora until you do that full walk across that bridge, and you start to hear the chirping and the critter sounds and the Navi music. It hypes you up, and then when you turn the corner, boom, there's the floating mountains.
Well, see,
I just don't see how that is going to be transitioned into the bottleneck of what Hollywoodland already is. Me personally, if they wanted to get rid of Hollywoodland altogether, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I just think Avatar was not the IP to put there.
Well, but one thing we have to remember too, though, and again, this is I'm just putting it out there. I don't have any inside information, you know, despite the fact that I have brunches with Bob Iger every Sunday. I don't have any inside information. This land is based on the next like 3 movies, I think, like Fire and Ash and the 2 after that. So we don't really know like what these movies are about. So for I mean, you know, for all we know, there's a totally reasonable explanation as to why it's chosen to be here that we're not aware of because we don't know what the movies are about. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things I'm looking at is, and again, like I said, 5 years from now, they could start construction with this. And I think they're kind of just putting a Band-Aid on PhilharMagic for right now. I think it is going to go away. And what I honestly think is going to happen is right where this building is, Elias Co. Company, I'm going to be very honest with you. And again, this is just my own opinion. I think the cutoff is going to be right here. I'm being serious with you. I think the cutoff is going to be right here, and everything going this way is going to be made for Pandora. I think personally what's going to happen is the Hyperion is going to go away. The Animation Academy building is going to go away. So the Hyperion can either go for Avatar or it can go for Avengers. But if it goes for Avengers, you're talking about two more big e-ticket attractions in this area. Or, you know, like Bricky said, and like you said, George, and I'll get more justification when I go in March to Orlando to see Pandora and Animal Kingdom. Maybe what Bricky was hinting at, because he's obviously been there, you all have been there, except for me and Tommy, is the fact that what you said, you know, you walk over a bridge and you kind of walk a good distance before you get to the land. Maybe what Bricky was hinting at his video that he did a while back is you walk into this green space, which is kind of like a buffer, and then you walk into the world of Pandora, and that's a big possibility. But looking at this concept art, I'm sorry, you know, like OG says, if this land's gonna host the next 3 Avatar movies, you can't tell me that this land's only going to have one attraction. There is no way.
I think though. Here's what I think of that though. This is my thing, because this is where Damaro gets in his wording. They're going to incorporate the next 3 movies. What it could be is one piece of an item that is in Avatar 4 that is like an Easter egg, and you have to try to find it. I really honestly, and maybe depending on like the creatures that they add into the e-ticket boat attraction, but I really honestly don't think that they're going to literally, the way they hyped it up, I feel like, in my opinion, I could be wrong, I'll eat crow if I'm wrong, but I really don't think that they're going to infuse like what's going to be Fire and Ash, what's going to be Avatar 4, what's going to be Avatar 5, because also too, he's even thinking that depending on how well Fire and Ash 4 and 5 do, he could be doing 6 and 7. He actually said
So George, you don't feel like these next, because you were concerned before that that is based on the 3 movies that would cause a lot of secrecy and a lot of information wouldn't be released because of that. If you feel it's so minor, like that won't be the issue anymore.
I think I think now what I'm really thinking about it, I think they're kind of using it so they don't have to give no information on. But when they do it on set, it's little pieces of detail here and there. I don't think the more that I'm looking at it and the more that I'm thinking about it, what really solidified it for me was when I saw that concept art for the Eastern Gateway. When I saw the back of Pandora's ass and where it's placed, I'm thinking, okay, they didn't even really touch all, because in my mind, when they said it was going to run into the bus load unload area, when we walked right before and we're like, whoa, this is all going to be part of Pandora. It's really not. So majority of all the space that's already there with the back lot, once you knock out all those buildings, that's basically what I think is going to be the Pandora. And that's
so
like they're using it as an experience, because again, I could be wrong, but I think honestly, it's just going to be one attraction, which I'm okay with that too. I just think that this land is not going to be as big as what I think a lot of people think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, let me get this off real quick. So you guys have a lot of good, valid points. So Avatar 4 comes out December 21st, 2029. Okay. So James Cameron said before that 2 and 3 are going to be a story, and then 4 and 5 will be a story. So many stories that combine into each other. So 2029 for, this is a long ways away, and Disney's kind of working on Avengers Campus right now. Are they going to have to finish one project before they move to the next?
Well, before even that, Tommy, like even before moving to the projects, look at that time frame. Now, you just said Avatar 4 is going to come out in 2029.
Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be a 4-year gap from the time we get Fire and Ash. There is no way in hell that they're not going to give us no information on Avatar for 4 straight years because they want to keep something secret for the next upcoming Avatar 4 and Avatar 5. Because once they open Avatar, that's usually, I think, around the time maybe Avatar 5 will be opening. So so the more that I'm thinking about it, that was a concern of mine. But again, after looking at this piece of concept art and looking at the dates of when Avatar 4 and 5 come out, I think when they say, oh, we're incorporating all the avatars into it, I don't, to me, I kind of know Josh's lingo when he makes assumptions like that. It's not really what he's actually saying. It's to kind of get that hype. Because you have to think, he mentioned that at a time where he had to get all of us, 17,000 people in an arena, he had to get all of us back in his good graces because the last 2 D23s for him were not so hot. And the fact that he is now ahead of Dana Walden for the CEO race, it's showing that everything that he's doing is working to his favor. So how can you kind of manipulate the wording to kind of get people to say, oh, this isn't just based off of Way of Water. Hell, this isn't even based off of Fire and Ash. This is based off of all 5 Avatar movies when the land is going to open before Avatar 5 even hits theaters.
Man, this is crazy because Avatar 5 comes out December 19th, 2031. So, 2031 could be a golden year because we're going to get Universal UK too. And so if they open that park in 2031 and then we get Avatar here.
Was 5 years. His promise was 5 years. Now, again, we can go back and look at that. Is it fully completed in 5 years? Or does it mean it starts work within 5? That's where Josh kind of gets away with his wording because you're never really a fully...
Well, we do know it will start work in early 2026 because that's when Monsters Inc. closes.
No, I know, but I mean, like when he says like 5 years, does that mean everything is done, boom, completed, opened in 5 years, or it's still in the construction phase within 5 years and it can open a year or two later after the 5 years? See, that's where, like, what is he saying that it is? Is he saying that everything is done, completed, open, everything that was announced at D23 before the 5 years? Or does that mean everything starts construction in the 5 years, but it can bleed into the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think the possibility for delays is absolutely a thing for sure. I mean, this is a big project, and you can have a rainy season that sets you back, or anything could come up. Right. We could have a big earthquake. Hopefully not, but you just never know.
Right, but I'm saying as far as like what Damaro's wording is, like what was his intentions of saying the wording? Was his wording meaning 5 years completed? or 5 years, everything is running back to back to back and it can open even after 2030. Because if it's after 2030, then it would be after Avatar 5. If it's supposed to be completed and opened by 2030, then it would open before Avatar 5.
Right. Well, and it makes me wonder too. I mean, you know, because we don't know the storyline for these, and Bricky's so funny, because we don't know the storyline to these upcoming movies. You know, I mean, there could be something in these sequels that we're not aware of that do make it make sense. Now, again, I'm being very optimistic here. I don't think that's the case, but you just never know. And Avatar will never be completed. I agree with you, Bricky. It's an ongoing thing, 100%.
We all come to this happy place.
I love it. I love it. But I will say this though, on a positive note, I will say this. The fact that we are getting one of Imagineering's pinnacles, one of the best things they've ever done in Florida. The fact that we're getting any version of that in DCA is enormous to me. I'm excited. Yeah, we can play the semantics about, you know, oh, when's it going to open, or oh, how's it tie into California, and all that stuff is valid. But at the end of the day, the fact that we're even getting this in DCA, I mean, that's huge. That's massive. And we're getting nighttime Pandora every single night, something that Florida doesn't get to have, which I think is awesome too. You know what I'm saying?
As long as we don't get another Galaxy's Edge, because Galaxy's Edge is beautiful. But if you don't have any kind of extra finesse in there, to me, it's not worth it, because I hardly go into Galaxy's Edge. I'm sorry. I'm just being brutally honest, because aesthetically it's pleasing to the eyes, but I usually use it as a walkway.
Well, I think for this particular thing, being that it is going to be, I would imagine, smaller than the Florida version of Pandora, I would say, just eyeballing it, I would assume it's going to be smaller. I think based on the size of the land with one big e-ticket, I think that would be enough. Is that not, like, what do you mean in terms of attractions, or in terms of like?
Here's the thing with this in particular, and they can kind of go either way. A lot of times when people walk into Galaxy's Edge, they couldn't give two shits about the aesthetics. They go into Rise of the Resistance, they come out. When you go into Pandora in Animal Kingdom, and this is where the transition does matter for me anyways, when you see the transition, and I can't wait for you guys to experience it, because I really want to get your thoughts on that matter of how you can compare it. When you transition from just the regular Discovery Island that moves into Pandora, it's a transition, but it blends so well with the greenery and the organic nature of everything. For me, will this look aesthetically pleasing? I would think so, especially if James Cameron's on board. But to walk on a cement sidewalk and then bang left, to me, that's not really appeasing for me anyways. And does that then, where you turn around and you're in Pandora and you turn around and you look outward and you see the top of Mission Breakout, that would throw me completely out of the element, because I am also a sightlines guy. I do watch that stuff just as much as OG does. I'm very picky when it comes to that stuff. So for me, I think the e-ticket is going to be a banger, but they have to add in the extra things. They have to add in the sound effects. OG, you had mentioned that is a big plus. They have to add in the bioluminescent forest. They have to add that. That's a huge factor. I think them adding the bioluminescent forest, that would solidify to get people into that land, whether they are going on the ride or not. See, that's where the difference is between Galaxy's Edge. People go to Galaxy's Edge to go on Rise of the Resistance. They don't go in for the immersiveness of the land.
Yeah, and John says, oh no, I'm sorry,
Conductor, your stuff's back to how it was before the live.
Conductor, I don't know if you're on mute, bro, but I saw you trying to talk, but nothing was coming out.
Oh, sorry. You hear me now?
No,
It's like how it was before you started the live. So fix it to how it was right after.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, Abby said they might do a shortcut with California's Avatar. I hope not, Abby. I really do. Look, like I said before, I get really frustrated when it comes to Disney and their approach to DCA. I understand it's not Walt's park, but it sits just feet away from Walt's park. So let's get it done. Let's make sure that it's humanly possible, as close to the quality.
And that worries me too. That worries me too, because with DCA, if they're going to do these things, they have to let it match up to Disneyland. Again, is it going to be Disneyland? No,
nothing will. No,
nothing will be Disneyland.
Right, but they have to get it as close as humanly possible. But now here's the thing: the saving grace is James Cameron, because he's a stickler for quality. But I'm telling you, I mean, you cannot. I get really frustrated because when everything goes in Disneyland, I see a lot of care being put into that, which is great. But I don't see the same level of care from Disney when it comes to DCA. We need the same level of care, Disney. It's like having a beautiful home, but you just like trash on your front lawn. It makes no sense. Like, let's get it done, Disney. Let's make sure DCA is a quality experience. And it also ties into what we were talking about earlier. If you want tourism, then you have to start treating DCA more than Disney Berry Farm. Okay, it needs to be a quality, full-fledged Disney park experience, you know? And I don't know. I mean, personally, if it was up to me, and I know a lot of fans aren't going to want to hear this, I'd get rid of the whole like Ferris wheel and the whole thing. I think that stuff it just screams, hey, we're a regional park, you know? I don't know.
Can you bring up Ben Zacuto's comment real quick?
Sure.
So Ben, actually, yes, I actually agree with you on that. I love the Cocoa Puff iced coffee. I'm not a coffee person by all means, but like I could put two of them away. They are really good. Man.
Yeah. So I want to pivot to the next subject that still ties into what we're talking about. Is one of the things I've seen from Disney compared to Universal is, you know, George and OG made an excellent point about Josh tomorrow saying the 5-year plan. This is all going to be built, blah, blah, blah. This is where I have a problem. Okay. Why does Disney feel that they have to sit there, give a timeline, give a budget on how much it's going to cost to build, when their competitor, literally 50, 60 miles away, is not doing that, just building an attraction or building the land, and won't announce what it is, won't announce how much it costs, and everything above board, and they're faster on construction, and they won't announce it until they're already halfway, if not 3/4 of the way done with the project. But why does Disney feel like they need to sit there and go into detail? Because I said this on George's live stream the other night. I said, Disney kind of, in my opinion, Disney kind of shoots themselves in the foot when they sit there and say, oh yeah, well, we're going to spend, and again, I'm just using it as an example, we're going to build a Coco Dark Ride attraction that's going to be based off Shanghai Pirates, and it's going to cost, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number out there. It's not even accurate, but $50 million. Let's just say that hypothetically. And then you go and ride the attraction. You look at the aesthetics on the outside of the attraction, because it's going to have a little bit of decor and whatnot. And you walk in there and you're like, this is $50 million worth? What in the hell is this?
Well, Conductor, you're right. And Disney has an issue with oversharing. Sometimes, you know, you ever hear that saying that people, you should kind of like not overshare. Sometimes you should kind of like, you know, I think Disney kind of has that problem. They overshare. You're right. Yeah. I don't, you know, the price tag, you really never really hear that coming from Universal. I think it's a smart move. But here's the thing, though, to be fair to Disney, Universal doesn't have Comcast Con every 2 years. So there isn't as much of an obligation for Disney to announce this stuff way in advance like Disney. Disney has these D23 and even Destination D and all these events where they're obligated. The fans are expecting announcements. So I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, we all love those events. You know, George and I had a great time at D23 last year, but it does create an onus on Disney to sort of deliver, so to speak, and actually announce stuff. And what happens is you announce stuff, and then during that creative process, things inevitably get cut and scale back. And look, I also want to make it very clear too, even with the Michael Eisner era, because I know a lot, I know it's very trendy to kind of crap on current Disney. I get that, right? And believe me, current Disney has all kinds of problems, right? But even in the Michael Eisner era, we lost a lot of stuff. I mean, Indiana Jones was going to be way crazier than it is now. We were going to have like 2 and 3 rides going through that show building. The Disney Decade, we were going to get another Roger Rabbit ride based on Baby Herman. So things got canceled and downsized during Eisner's era too. So it's kind of a common thing for Disney to kind of announce these things and then kind of, cut. And it's not great for fans because we get excited and we get kind of like attached to these concepts, and Disney goes in there and cuts them. I mean, one of my favorite things ever was Westcott, and that
I like
got
the
cut.
way he's right. I like the way you put that, OG. And George sometimes says, don't get married to this. Let's not get married to this idea. I feel like Disney wants you to be married to the images and the concept arts, and they want you to be like, go and brag about it. Like, hey, this is Villains Land coming in whenever, when Universal will announce the park, but they don't give us the lands yet. Like the UK park, we really don't know if it's James Bond, Lord of the Rings, all that. We all can guess. We all have, fun guesses and stuff. But like, even like with Epic, they announced Epic and then the lands came with it. I feel like Disney just wants to have the artwork and have the presentation. Like Bricky said, they have to display this to shareholders and everything. And these events, they're expecting to have some presentable thing to make some money, right? And, Universal did all that Super Nintendo World stuff, and it was reported on for so long. But I feel like it's always like a heavy rumor that's true, that's what's going to happen. I mean, you know how long there's a rumor of the Fast and Furious roller coaster coming? Like, it was almost like solidified before it even got like announced. So like, I do like how Disney at least gives the fans something to look forward to every couple years at D23, because we're itching for stuff. And a lot of the time the entertainment just isn't it. We get like 2 to 5 solid Disney owned properties a year now. That's really, really good. We always look forward to the next one, and then people spit it out, I feel like. And then it's like, okay, now, like for this year, it was like, oh, Lilo and Stitch, that hit, but now we're on to Zootopia 2. You know what I mean?
100%, Tommy. And Mademoiselle says Pandora and Animal Kingdom is beautiful, and it absolutely works in that park. And I agree with you, Mademoiselle. But here's the thing about Pandora and Animal Kingdom. A lot of fans leading up to that opening didn't think it was going to work in that park. So I think we should all keep that in mind with DCA, because a lot of fans, I've been in the community a real long time. I mean, a real long time. And I'm telling you, fans were not happy about that decision. And when it opened, it worked. So I think the DCA thing might work depending on the execution. You know what I'm saying? Because people were doubting even the Animal Kingdom stuff.
Well, see, you make a valid point, OG, because one of the things, people like to do, they like to nitpick and, kind of, dissect the idea. But one thing, again, like you mentioned earlier, that's going to be the overall justification for Avatar going into DCA is the mere fact that we're going to see it at night, and it's going to make it absolutely breathtaking to see, which Animal Kingdom doesn't have that luxury of doing. And I have Hey Bricky's comment to kind of reference back what we're just talking about. He says downsizing is part of the creative process.
Right.
Though when you run into real world restrictions, you have to make decisions based on that. And I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I kind of just feel though, like maybe if I had to nitpick one thing that I brought up earlier compared to Universal building stuff than Disney is maybe keep the funding aspect out of what you're building for fans. Don't share that immediately. Let the land be built, let it be opened, and then share that to the public. Maybe just keep that between the shareholders. You know what I mean? Kind of keep that, not in the public view, because then, it's funny because I use this terminology a lot, and I give credit to George and Orange Grove 55 for this. The soccer mom families are not going to say, wow, I'm walking into the world of Avatar. this is $100 million, they're not going to care. They're going to be mind blown on how stunning it looks. Not just during the day, but at night. But us theme park nerds, just like Hey Bricky and so many in the comments, you know, we're going to go in there and we're going to be like, okay, you spent how much, and this is what we got. Right. How can you justify this? And it's funny because I said this on your video the other night, Orange Grove 55, and it's so funny because a couple of people laughed at this idea. I'm like, well, if they're going to justify saying, oh yeah, we're going to spend $200 million on Avatar for DCA, so you're telling me some wall paneling, maybe some screws cost a couple $100,000 each to kind of justify the cost, or what's the deal with that? You know,
Kiki and Luca was laughing at your comment because you said, I think something to the effect of like $100,000 for a screw.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's an expensive screw, Conductor.
It is. It's
no,
like,
but
man,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's expensive. But
well, and speaking of an expensive screw, that's the problem with the soccer moms. They're too busy in the back seat of the van with the coach's assistant.
Isn't that supposed to be discussion for Orange Grove After Dark or something, or what?
Oh, hell no. I'm the Italiano. It comes morning, noon, and night, bro.
Hey, Josh, tomorrow, if you're watching this, if you become the next CEO, look out for George. That's all I got to say.
Look out for Georgie. Now, Mademoiselle says aesthetically works on paper and in real life at Animal Kingdom because it's not a cityscape land. DCA is all city aside from Grizzly Peak. And that's true. I agree with her on that. But here's the thing too, Mademoiselle. Grizzly Peak works though, despite that, right? I mean, so theoretically, Avatar could too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
But I think Grizzly Peak works because it's also tied into the Grand Cali, which the Grand Cali already has that kind of wilderness lodge kind of thing. And it also builds up. Again, there's the buildup. When you walk into what used to be, I don't know what the hell they call it now. It used to be Condor Flats with Soarin'. It kind of leads into the movement into Grizzly Peak. That's what my big question is. What is the moving point that you're going to go off of Buena Vista Street to then go into Pandora that's across from Avengers Campus?
And that's the big question. Yeah, that's the big question is how it's all about how they're going to execute this, right? And how are they going to massage this into the rest of the park? That's been the biggest concern for me too. We'll see, but I just think it's not impossible. I mean, I have an open mind to it. I just have to see what.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do too. I'm just beating my head in because I'm trying to see it. Every time that I'm down there, I'm walking Hollywoodland, and I'm like, I'm trying to get a vision, and I just for some reason I can't. I can't. And again, Disney will probably surprise me. Probably once they start knocking all those buildings down and they start flattening out the surface, it would probably come together. But also too, they have to also figure out the monorail as well, because they're not going to have a freaking monorail going straight through. See, this is where my questions, I would love to have the straight answers, because knowing James Cameron, I still don't think that he would pick Hollywoodland over a blank canvas like the Simba parking lot, because he's one that wouldn't care to wait. Look how long we're taking for these 5 movies. It was over a decade from the first Avatar to Way of Water. James Cameron has the patience of a saint. He would wait until the Eastern Gateway is open to say, hey, this seems like it's a blank canvas. Let's put this over in the Simba lot. This is my baby. This is my property.
Yeah.
And he kind of puts his foot down of what for some reason, I just can't see him in that meeting with the Imagineers and the executives and Damaro and Iger and him looking at the Hollywoodland backlot area and say, yeah, that's exactly where Pandora is going to go.
Well, okay.
For some reason,
they must have promised him something for sure.
That probably there might have been some little bit of extra something there going on.
Well,
right.
But before we jump to our next subject, I want to ask all three of you, just because they announced it's going in the Hollywood backlot, could it, change destinations, or is it already set in stone and they can't back out?
I think it's set in stone. The fact that they've already officially announced that Monsters Inc. is closing in early 2026. It's a done deal, my man. It's a done deal.
Conductor, I know you brought it up like how many times? Can you bring up that piece of concept art for Avatar, the one that they showed at D23 one last time. I'm wondering, because when you look at the concept art, now again, you can't get married to it, and you can't take like the back of like the extra water and everything. That's not going to be there. The only way that I could think of that they can hide the monorail would have to be, they would have to, the structure of the main building for the e-ticket, the monorail would have to go through there.
Well, oh, I'm sorry.
I think,
so I'm gonna go with what Bricky, you know, not just his comment, but that video he did a while back. And again, great job on that video, Bricky. But you know, where you kind of look at the kind of grand entranceway from the back way of Cars Land, you see that rock formation, you know, kind of grand entrance. I think when Bricky showed that for Avatar, and the monorail literally going into that tunnel, kind of shrouded by that rock work, I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's how they're going to hide it. Personally, I don't think it's going to go through.
You think there's going to be extra rock work more than what they showed than they're showing here?
I think so, because like you said, you make a solid statement. Never ever get married to concept art. So there could be little tweaks and whatnot to this. So that's all I'm going to say.
Well, yeah, no, that's a great point, though, Conductor, is that you're right. We shouldn't take this concept art literal either, because they change art all the time, for better or worse. So just because we see it a certain way in this art doesn't mean we're going to get the same thing. And in all likelihood, based on Disney, it probably won't look this way. If you look at some of the old Galaxy's Edge artwork, it doesn't look the same as the finished product.
And I hope they do it well, because if they're going to have a freaking pile of rocks like right in the center of the land, that's going to look, because here's the thing, where the monorail track is, you would have to then have rock work where you go under it, because you have to go under the trestle where the monorail is, and then it would lead more into Pandora. So you're going to have like a stack of rocks that's going to shape like a half oval. So it has to be done with finesse, but if they make it too high, it's going to block the sight line of the, what I call the bloomin' onion, you know? So they want that to have, so that's why I'm still wondering if the monorail is going to go through, like, sort of like how they have with the Matterhorn, with like the basketball court up at the top, and they have like where they used to have like the skyline go through it. I think they're going to have the monorail go through an upper part of that structure, and then the bottom level is going to be the e-ticket. And really quick, I just have to say to Carlos, does George need a Snickers? Nope, I don't need a Snickers. This is just how I talk. I'm very passionate. I come from a big Italian family. This is how it always, every Sunday after church for spaghetti dinner, we're all talking loud, moving our hands.
He's hangry. That's all it is. He's hangry.
I could vouch for the Italian thing though, because I'm Italian too. I come from
dude,
Italian
like it's
just
like
goes forever. Yeah.
we literally, honestly, this is just how we talk. It's just, we talk with our hands, we talk with our voice, and
I will say this in terms of it being Italian, and in terms of theme parks, Vivo is seriously the best Italian restaurant on any theme park property. I ate there like a few weeks ago. It's amazing. That's at Universal City Walk. Vivo is absolutely incredible. Oh, it's fire, dude. That place. I
always get the chicken piccata, man. The lemon chicken piccata is going crazy.
Definitely,
dang,
dude. Vivo. Wait, Abby, that's the one we stayed at, right? I didn't care for it too much.
Really?
Vivo?
If it was the Italian restaurant we ate at Universal, it was okay.
Wow.
Like, no, again, I don't know if it's because like I come from a family that literally we do everything from scratch, like, because you can taste the difference.
I hear you on that though.
I want to confirm if that's the restaurant we ate at. But Abby, if you're in the chat, confirm. It was too salt. Yeah, so it was Vivo. Yeah, it was okay. I didn't care for it. That was like a one and done for me.
I love it, and like I know Wizard likes it too. I was talking to him when he was eating salmon there. You know,
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I mean, all things in perspective, right? Like obviously,
right.
Yeah, like, you have a homemade dish from like grandma and stuff.
Right.
But in terms of like theme park
100%.
stuff, I mean, it's really good.
Let me put it to you this way: I would rather have Olive Garden over Vivo.
Oh,
hell no, that's a hard pass. What about Naples? What about Naples?
Naples, yeah. Viva,
Okay.
I just didn't, and that's really it, because I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of Olive Garden, but I would take Olive Garden over Vivo based off of what I ate there. That was not worth the price.
I gotta agree with Bricky. Pizza Planet, dude. That's like
that actually the pasta at Pizza Planet much better than the pizza.
Well, I gotta say, I don't know who's working at Pizza Planet. If it's Emerald Lagasse, but that hits.
That's fire. So the next topic I want to bring up, because this kind of leads into two topics that we're going to talk about. The Magic Band Plus offering for hotel guests at Walt Disney World goes away. I want to ask George. I want to start off with him. With people paying as much money as they do, because obviously Walt Disney World has established itself as a tourist destination, and spend all the money they do with staying on property, with the tickets to the theme parks, with food, with merch, with transportation, with experiences, inside the park, outside the park. Do you think this was a smart move by Disney to discontinue the discount for the Magic Band? And even before that, they offered it to the hotel guests for free. So you think that was smart?
No, I think it's a bad decision. Number one, they keep cutting perks at Disney World. The Magical Express is gone, right? They keep cutting stuff. I don't know. I can't. This is not, in my opinion, a good move. Sorry, George. Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No. I would just say I think it's a bad move. I think it's a bad move. I think that you incentivize people. You don't keep cutting and cutting and cutting. Disney right now has a major PR problem. Why we? Right, they do. It's one thing after the next. Why are we cutting, and then you're going to announce a huge price hike? It's a bad look, dude. It's a bad look.
Well, see that's the problem. That going back to all the projects they're building at Disneyland, even Walt Disney World, my whole thing is with the price hikes. And again, I completely understand they increase prices every year. That's never going to stop. But the way they did it and how much they increased on each Magic Key, on the parking situation, to the lightning lane, to the multi-lightning lane, to food, to merch, to ticket sales for just the family of four that wants to come out of state. With all these projects probably another 5 years out, and stuff for obviously Avengers Campus and probably Coco, is there a justification to charge that much when basically you're going to have all this construction going on and nothing new is opened? And that goes for the same thing for Walt Disney World, with what they're doing in Animal Kingdom, with Tropical Americas, with Magic Kingdom, what they're doing with Piston Peak. Then you got, the Villains Land. Then you got what they're. I don't think they're doing any new projects in Epcot, are they? As far as I know.
No, not right now.
No, I didn't think so. So these price hikes, do they justify? And like you said, OG, by sitting there cutting something like that? Because I say it all the time. People might think I'm nuts, but you basically have to go to your local bank, whoever you bank with, to get a bank loan to go to Magic Kingdom. You do. It costs thousands of dollars, and especially if you're going, a family of four, it costs a lot. So to sit there and cut something like this, I agree with you. It's horrible. It's a very bad move, and it does not look good. And with it makes me wonder. And I don't mean this the wrong way, and please don't take this the wrong way, but with the new CEO coming in and Bob Iger still in charge at this moment, and him kind of starting to default to bad decisions like this and possibly others, where is it going to land the new CEO? How's he going to recover from stuff like that? And we both know when Chapek went in, Bob Iger really never went away. He just took a back seat, but he was running the board. So he was still part of the decision making. And when you know people wanted to blame someone, Chapek was your man because he was front and center.
Yeah, no, Chapek was an easy guy to kind of blame, I think, you know. But like it's funny because you know Chapek's been gone since 2022. It's now 2025.
Yeah.
And it's been about 3 years now, and we're still seeing a lot of the same stuff. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, a lot there not a whole lot has changed. So it's kind of weird, like for me, when fans would come down on Chapek. Now, I do think Chapek was not a good CEO. I will make that very, very clear.
Yeah.
But I do think that he was also kind of like turned into this like cartoony bad guy that that wasn't necessarily fair, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. George, what do you think?
I think honestly for me, for Disneyland, I'm probably going to be in the minority of this because I've been going to Walt Disney World for so long. I honestly don't really see it being necessary until they actually start expanding it out for the purpose of it being a vacation destination. I think for locals, it's pretty much it's a waste of money on Disney's part. And honestly, if I was running a business, I wouldn't be spending money on that for Disneyland. For Walt Disney World, that's another story because you utilize it for your hotel room key, which again you could do out here at Disneyland. But when you only have 3 resort hotels that are way overpriced compared to 30 plus hotels that Walt Disney World has, the market really just isn't there because a lot of people end up staying off property at one of the Good Neighbor hotels. There's just a lot of extra benefit factors that you get with the Magic Band at Walt Disney World that you can't have at Disneyland, not unless it actually grows like full force. Like now, again, you add in another hotel, you add in another third gate, you know, then you could probably look back at it. But right now, especially with DCA, that's going to be construction wall city, it's going to end up looking like a labyrinth again. I don't really see the need for the Magic Bands right now.
Well, okay. So the one thing I would say, you know, at this current moment, the only thing I would say for Magic Bands, what I would like to see at Disneyland, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction, is, you know, the mere fact that we can all agree, and I love Bricky's comment from way earlier in the live stream. You know, Disneyland's turning into the new iOS generation of Magic, which is, it's not feeling so magic because you're constantly on your phone. The only thing I would say with the Magic Bands that Walt Disney World has that I would like to see incorporated here, and then obviously other features down the road, is the fact that you can use it for parking. So if you're like an Inspire key, you know, and you go up to the parking booth, you know, to pay or to scan your Magic Band, they just touch your Magic Band, done, move on. And then I also like the fact that Walt Disney World, their Magic Bands, you can link a card to it. So if you're eating at, I don't know, some restaurant in the park, you know, they could just tap your Magic Band, boom, it takes your discount out, it charges it, done. Then, you know, same thing with merch. Those 3 things right there, I think would make the guest experience a lot better at Disneyland with the Magic Bands, because again, the less you're on your phone, the better. That's the way I see it. You know, when you go into these theme parks, it's not about being on your phone. It's walking in and being immersed by magic, being immersed by the characters you've grown up to adore and love and watch on the TV screen. So as far as I'm concerned, those 3 features right there, you know, would really bring Disney, especially people that have Magic Bands like myself, it would be a lot more convenient, I would say.
Well, Jared from Capture the Magic, and big shout out to Jared, by the way, friend of the channel. We love Jared over there. We do a bi-weekly show, by the way, on his channel. called theme parking, which is amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. The next comment. Yes. Can you use your phone at Disneyland to get into the park? Yep, 100%. You just pull up the app and they scan. You scan right in.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I think there was another comment from I think it was Iron Soul, and Iron Soul makes a great point too. Honestly, phones replace the need for magic bands. That's a fair point, Iron Soul. I mean, and from a business perspective, right? The app is probably cheaper than producing these plastic magic bands.
That's what I was saying. Like for them to spend on magic bands right now, if I was running that business, I wouldn't be spending the money on it.
Yeah.
It's the problem I see with something like that is they've already established, they've already built them, they already have the infrastructure for them. So instead of scrapping it and getting rid of the whole system and all the money they spent on the infrastructure for it, why not improve on it? You already have it, because if you backtrack and get rid of it, and then you start getting rid of the infrastructure that supports the magic band, it also makes you as a company look bad, because you spent that money to do that, and now you're getting rid of it. Now you're backtracking. And
do you think they could like back up on the professional business part, like, or the part where you utilize it like as a tool, back that up, and then maybe just use it for the recreational stuff? Like now they're using it for the 70th and it's all like fun and games. Maybe they could just focus on that part. Like, I know that's a big part of it, like buying the magic band too, is using it in these different lands to unlock secrets, to see, I always like to feel like it's more magical, so if they could add more of that to it, I mean.
No, 100%. And again, they've already have them on the market. They already built the infrastructure for it. So, do you scrap it or do you continue the program and enhance it? That's my question. You're taming the beast, basically. You're screwed if you decide to scrap the project, and you're better off just taming the beast and continuing it, because you're already involved in it. That's the way I see it. Now, the next topic I want to talk about, before we go to Universal a little bit, is the mere fact. Is the mere fact. I don't have a screen for this, so we'll just talk openly. When we're, George makes an excellent point. Okay, DCA for the next probably 5 years is going to be Wall City, kind of like what Epcot was for years. And we've talked about it. All four of us at one point have talked about it on each other's channels, how they could possibly move Oogie Boogie Bash back to Disneyland. Okay. And how DCA is now going to reduce hours, just like Disneyland has reduced hours. Why? I don't get that aspect, but I'm sure you guys will tell me. But reduce. They're probably going to reduce hours to Disney or DCA. I could see them closing that park probably at 6 o'clock. That's just my guess for rampant construction. But knowing that that's a possibility, and it could be a half-day park, do you ever see Disney lowering the price just for that park, knowing that concept might come to reality?
They'll never do it. They'll never do it. Should they do it? Yeah, they probably should, but they'll never do it. And I'll tell you why, Conductor. The minute you lower that price, like just for DCA, that's Disney acknowledging this is a weaker park. And that might not even be the case necessarily, but it gives the perception this park doesn't have as much value.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that. Go ahead, Tommy.
No, I was saying what's up to Webba, but no, no, like I don't think they would ever backtrack. I don't think they're gonna do what I want either. If they do what Conductor said, like take away the hours because they have to get the construction done, will they lower the ticket price because it's a half-day park? You want that, but like for me, down the line past that, I would rather have them, when they bring back the full hours for DCA, make it equivalent to Disney almost. Like,
Sure.
let me stay there a little bit longer. I don't know if it's just because they have alcohol that they cut it a couple hours shorter than Disneyland, or if they just want you to go over there for fireworks. Or I don't know what it is. I'm sure you guys could tell me if that is what it is, but I would rather just have it the same hours as Disneyland and not hours shorter.
The reason why they do that, Tommy, is I heard that. By the way, Kaylee, thank you so much for congratulations on 8K. Thank you so much. Actually, we're almost to 9K. We're very, very close to 9K now. But thank you, Kaylee. Appreciate you. But the reason why they close it separately, Tommy, is because of the crowd. If Disneyland and DCA close at the same time, everyone's leaving at the same time. So that's what I heard. I could be wrong though.
That's going to be hard with Avatar because everybody wants to see it at nighttime, and summertime, the hour it's dark at what 8:39. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, but see, the problem I see is, and again, I agree with OG. Obviously, Disney will not do the right thing. The right thing in all of our minds would be to lower the price for that park until I would say a good 90% of the construction walls go away. Will they do it? No. I agree with you all. They won't do it. And that's a sad thing. They'll just keep increasing prices. It'll still become a half-day park for years as they ramp up construction. And it's just, but I want to ask you this. If they do move Oogie Boogie Bash back to Disneyland, is there something that you would like to see either come back that it once had when basically the Halloween party was at Disneyland, or something new you would like to see come to the event that wasn't there when it was at Disneyland?
See, this might be an unpopular opinion. I don't like Halloween at Disneyland because you have to water it down because it's Disneyland. Yes. I like it at DCA because you can have a little bit more of an edge to it, and that's just my opinion. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, that's a great opinion. I like it at DCA. I'm down to experience it at Disneyland. I haven't yet, so I'm down to check it out. But like you said, I'm definitely down to keep it at DCA. It's just I never think I have enough time at these night events, especially Halloween and stuff. So.
That's a fair point by Theme Park Wizard, saying that the DCA construction walls won't really impact guests, in his opinion. I mean, when you really think about it, outside of like Pandora, which will basically block off like maybe half of Hollywoodland. I mean, Coco is going to be backstage, honestly, and so is Avengers. So that's a fair point, Wizard.
No, he's absolutely right. No, he's right. It's just, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just don't like the direction they're going. Price increases without new attractions, new experiences. For how high they did it, I don't agree with it. I'm sorry, I just don't. That's just my opinion on that, but I don't see the justification for it. I just don't. Now, a lot of people said last Sunday when I think I had George on, was someone said in the comments, well, Universal's going to increase their prices once Hollywood Drift opens. I'm like, well, see, you just answered the question in your comment. Once it opens, not before it opens. So again, I could see the price increases the way they did it this year when both both Avengers attractions are open. Then I could see that justification because now it's two new experiences. But to sit there and do it as high as they did with no new attractions open from the Disneyland Forward project,
right? I
don't see it. I'm sorry.
Well, it's tough. It's tough. Everyone had. No, I see what you're saying, Conductor. Absolutely. I mean, everyone has a different kind of barometer as to what's worth it and what's not, right? Like basically $1,900 for a Magic Key is a lot to ask of somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's and honestly, I mean, for me personally, it's like, I mean, is there really enough new offerings to warrant $1,900?
Yeah.
What, the Walt animatronic? I mean, what's new? Tiana's is a year old.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Well,
You know
and
what I'm
especially it's the timing. I don't mind it going up to that amount. My thing is the timing that they're making it go up. Again, they're picking a specific time that they're jacking it up 8.2% when there's going to be, again, construction walls going up. We don't have Avengers yet. We don't have Coco yet. We don't have Avatar yet. So what's it going to be like when they open? It's going to go up even more, probably higher than 8.2%.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. By the time, and Wizard said it the last Sunday, if not in your live stream, George, when I was on your show, was that we're probably looking at the 2 Avengers attractions opening in early 2027. Obviously, that's speculation, but it's a good possibility, and we could see 2 more price hikes by the time that happens, which is kind of sad. So the Inspire Key, instead of being $1,900 like OG says, that's currently today, we could see it at maybe $2,300 by the time that opens.
Oh
And
no,
I-
100%.
For Avatar,
No, yeah.
Avatar?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be higher than 23.
Oh, it's probably going to be close to 28, if not 29 by the time that happens. And again, like you both say, and I love this terminology as well. At what point does either a single person that goes to the parks that owns a Magic Key or the family of 4 says, you know what, I'm going to vote with my wallet. I'm going to take a back seat. I'm not doing it. Too expensive. I'd rather take my family on a cruise, which is probably a little bit cheaper. Maybe.
Yeah. No, 100%. Now, Kaylee, you are correct. That is a Labubu. And if everyone at home wants to name the Labubu, I don't have a name for it yet. So if anyone wants to name it, maybe we can call it Inspire after the $1,900 Magic Key. We'll see.
Yeah, good. Does it light up at least?
No, dude. Just a Labubu.
Man. Does it make a noise? Oh man, or even vibrate for that matter? Does it do anything?
Family show, Conductor. Family show.
Well, I know, but still, I have to ask. For $1,900, it better do something besides stare at me in the back corner over there. Lord Jonathan says, I'm worried about more classic areas being replaced after Rivers of America removed now. He's probably referencing Magic Kingdom. Are you guys worried about that at all?
What say you guys? George, what do you think, brother?
I don't know. I think it just depends on what are the numbers for Disney. I think honestly with Rivers of America, I think it was classic Disney, obviously with the and with the Rivers of America, but it just wasn't bringing in the crowds. People weren't traveling down to Walt Disney World to take a loop around the Rivers of America. Does it fit well in Disneyland? Yeah, it fits aesthetically to the land. It fits aesthetically with just being Disneyland. It works for having Fantasmic on the water. They tied the Rivers of America also to the fireworks and what have you. But for Magic Kingdom, no. So I feel like that Disney just wants to utilize the space that, and again, this is where with Jeff Volley, where he was getting a lot of heat, that, it does mean something to everybody. But I think what he was referring to when he said underutilized area, it's underutilized area that it's a big chunk of space that, let's face it, no one was going over to Tom Sawyer Island at Magic Kingdom. No one was going on the Liberty Bell, constantly around the clock, and Disney probably knew the numbers. Yeah. So they're going to put in something that's a hot franchise that sells a lot of merch, and Cars is one of them, regardless if you like the movies or not. It's a merch king. And so to Lord Jonathan's question, I think they would only touch classic areas if they know that there could be something better that can replace it if it's not doing its job.
Yeah, no, 100%. So the problem I see is with our Rivers of America, I don't see it going anywhere, and I hope it never does. But one thing I would say, and I would urge Walt Disney Imagineering to fix, is many of the broken effects on our Tom Sawyer's Island. I think it's long overdue. I think it needs to happen, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they like going to that island to either maybe go have lunch, get away from the crowds, hang out, relax, you know, or, you know, go enjoy what the island has to offer, but it's not offering much. You can't get on the Phantasmic stage. It's always blocked off. Half the time the caves are blocked off. Most of the effects, not all of them, but most of the effects are broken. So you know, it's not looking pretty. It's not looking pretty either on our side. So it's like my question on that, and I have to ask all three of you, and I'm going to start with George here. Why is it that Walt Disney Imagineering refuses to fix the broken effects on our Tom Sawyer's Island, knowing the backlash that its sister in Walt Disney World is getting axed for an animation type IP? Why do they refuse to fix our broken effects?
I think honestly, the biggest elephant in the room, or should I say dragon, is the reason. I feel like Disney is kind of waiting in the wings to kind of have the dragon ready, because Phantasmic is going to have to go down, you know, for its refurbishment. And honestly, it's going to be going down for its refurbishment soon anyway. So by waiting for the dragon, waiting for the refurbishment, they weren't going to do anything during the summer months. And it does suck, because especially for the people that pay an arm and a leg for those, the Phantasmic dinner packages.
Yeah.
To me, if they only knew what they were missing out, and I probably a lot of them don't, because locals really, they may do the Phantasmic dining package, but I think it's a lot of people that may not know too much of like what goes on in the Disney community. Because I think a regular local that goes regularly, and I don't really think they're going to spend the money on a Phantasmic dining package. So I think it's a mixture of waiting for the dragon, waiting for them to go down for the refurbishment, and then Disney can fix whatever they want to do. Because I think there's a lot of issues that needs to be fixed. The trap doors, the pyro, everything. Honestly, Phantasmic at Disneyland right now is a hot mess.
Yeah, George is right. It's very much it's a chessboard, right? Where you have to sort of like map this stuff out, and there's things that they need to schedule in the future that maybe we're not even privy to, and things like that. So these things are scheduled in a way that sort of mitigate, obviously, capacity issues too. Like, I mean, you can't have too many things closed at once, and this, that, and the other. So there's a lot of decision making that goes along with shutting down anything. It's like operations have to kind of figure all that out. So I think that's a big part of it. And so, yeah, they're going to probably shut down most of that stuff when they have to install the dragon. George is right. And so that's they're just probably waiting until then. And we'll see. And from what we're hearing, I mean, they are building a new dragon. We are getting a new dragon. It's just that we probably have about another year or a year and a half until we get it. So
sure. And then I want to give a big shout out to Hidden Geek Village. Guy's been awesome with the super chats. So shout out to him. He says, I read some forums where some people want to see Tomorrowland bulldozed for something new in Disneyland. How do you guys feel about that?
You know, I agree, but it depends on what he's trying to say. Like, I've always said Tomorrowland should be bulldozed, except for Space Mountain.
Yes.
So I want a ground up new Tomorrowland. I don't mind if they kind of, you know, they change the angle of what the land means. If it's more like science fiction and like spaceships and rockets and space stuff, that's fine. As opposed to Walt's original vision of like it being like an actual Tomorrowland, which I think they've already kind of moved away from that anyway. But yeah, bulldoze everything except Space Mountain. Let's get a brand new Tomorrowland and have it very much like a space themed land, you know? You can sort of reinvent the theme a little bit. And we're kind of already moving that direction anyway. So yeah, sure. I think you need a bulldozer. How many times are we going to paint and repaint and redress the 1960s Tomorrowland buildings? It's time to really get this stuff fixed. Here's the other thing too. That People Mover track goes through all of those buildings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know Disney doesn't want to touch any of this stuff, but eventually you're going to have to, you know, and it's a really bad show. I was on the monorail recently, and you go over all the old People Mover tracks, and it's all rusted out, and there's like a bunch of leaves and everything. It's a terrible show. They really, really, really need to get all that sorted out. And I get it, Disney. You don't want to do it because Tomorrowland still packs a lot of people in, and it's still very popular because we have a big ride in there. But at this point, it's just bad show. So bulldoze it.
Well, see, I agree with you because you know, if it wasn't for Space Mountain, I'm going to be very honest with you, gentlemen. I call it. I don't even call it Tomorrowland. I love using this name. It's the land of the popcorn buckets, in my personal opinion. If you want to find a rare popcorn bucket, you go into that land. That's where they're at. Sorry to say it, but it's not even Tomorrowland anymore. Personally, for me, I agree with OG. Save Space Mountain, bulldoze everything else, start over. My whole thing was when Fantastic Four came out, I was almost certain we were going to get that IP in that land, and it was going to just bring all the nostalgia back, the People Mover, but obviously in a newer techie form. Get rid of the stupid Innovations building, which is Star Wars Launch Bay, and build an actual attraction, that foot space. Then, you know, all these other areas, but it just Fantastic Four didn't really do well in the box office.
Well, I think honestly, here's my thing with all that, and this goes with Fantastic Four and actually with Tron as well. I went to go see the movie. It's stunning. You know, I think honestly, it's very stunning of the visual effects and the music. I love Nine Inch Nails. But for the soundtrack, but the movie, honestly, I preferred the soundtrack over the movie. The movie did absolutely nothing for me. But I think also when it comes to with Tomorrowland,
sure,
on top of the movies, nothing can go right with the space, the futuristic thing, because I feel like we're in a time frame where technology is moving so fast, we can't keep up with it. And I just feel like that people are into using technology for their own personal thing. I don't think that they want to see it as a cutting edge storyline to a movie.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Tron, when it comes to Fantastic Four, Elio, you know, I feel like Wall-E was really the last kind of space thing that Disney like utilized and created that actually was a hit. If they were to make Wall-E today, I don't think Wall-E would have done as well as it did back in 2008.
No,
so I feel like they're dealing with dead end IP that they're trying to squeeze in a land that has no relevancy anymore.
Yeah. And again, like OG says, and other people have said it as well. Tomorrowland is one of the biggest problems Walt Disney Imagineering is facing at the Disneyland Resort. They have no clue what to do with it. And again, I reference back to Hey Bricky when he did a video not too long ago talking about all the underground tunnels and all that. Even Webba's mentioned it once or twice before. You know, again, there's a lot more work than what's on the surface. There's a lot more they would have to do because they have the kinetic energy of the water from the lagoon, from the old motorboat cruise area, because it's kind of like a reservoir for other areas of the park for the water aspect of it. So there's a lot more issues than just what's on the surface. There's a lot of underground stuff they would have to deal with. And again, you know, the problem I see is with you know, Walt Disney Pictures is they haven't had a strong enough IP to justify bulldozing that land and starting over and slapping a new IP in there.
Well, they've had multiple attempts at sort of like, or multiple opportunities for IP, right? Lightyear was one of those opportunities and it failed at the box office. Fantastic Four is underperforming. You know, Tron ain't doing that great either. Tron Ares. So a lot of these, A Strange World is another one that they could have put in here. Elio is another one. I mean, how many like of these IPs have underperformed in just like a couple of years, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's just it's a bad thing. It really is a bad thing, and I hope they do something eventually, because it's killing me walking into that land. Like George says with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I use it as a hallway. Like Bricky says with Avengers hallway. Well, Tomorrowland hallway. Then I guess we're gonna start naming hallways throughout the Disneyland Resort, because there's nothing to offer.
No, I will say this though, in regards to Avengers, and this is a little bit of an off-topic thing, but I was actually at Disneyland yesterday.
Yeah,
and that show building for those two attractions, the new attractions, that building is massive, dude.
Oh, it's humongous.
It's humongous, and they're not even done yet, and it's already massive. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous how big it is, but I cannot wait. Seriously, I cannot wait to see it. I can't wait to see. It's not just the two attractions. Obviously, one is I'm going to call it how I see it, a vomit comment. So I would urge people not to eat before they go on that attraction. The other one I'm super excited for. I can tell you straight up though, I'm also looking forward to all the features and the landscaping and the kind of like artifacts they put around that area, because we saw from concept art there's obviously going to be themed elements around the entrance to those two attractions by far.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm super excited to see that. But the last topic I want to talk about, well, there's two topics, but this one's kind of short, is the facial recognition. I know this came out 2 years ago for Universal Orlando, and one of the things I want to say, OG, since you are an annual pass holder, actually we all are, except for Tommy. I'm hoping he becomes one. It is the mere fact that Universal Hollywood has a dinosaur technology entrance gates. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I think the fingerprint scanners need to go. I'm not even joking. It's funny because I told somebody the other day, I'm like, give me a construction hat. I'll get a sledgehammer from Home Depot. I'll go down there and freaking smash those things into a million pieces. I have no problem doing that.
Let me ask you a question, Conductor, because I was there today. I scanned my ticket and I did my finger thing. It was pretty easy. What is it about the finger thing that you don't like?
So the thing I don't like is, especially in the early morning, because a lot of times when I go to Universal, like I'm going to go this Thursday to check up on Fast and Furious and other projects around the park, is early in the morning for early entry. Even during the day, even with HHN, people have a hell of a time for whatever reason, because the fingerprint scanner does not work. Now, don't get me wrong, it does work sometimes, but most of the time it doesn't. A lot of times I see people, including myself, have to, scan. It won't
at Disneyland.
No, Universal.
Oh, Universal. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Universal's fingerprint is atrocious, because there's times where I have to do it like multiple times, and then they just end up saying just go through anyway. Well, it's like, well, couldn't you have told me that the first time after me attempting 5 times?
Exactly my point. So that's one thing, and I want to shout out to Theme Park Wizard, the absolute GOAT when it comes to theme park permits. He clearly stated, once the hotel is starting to build, that's why they're building 3 security hubs. The security area where we have right now to get into the esplanade of the entrance gates for Universal, those are going to go away, and it's going to all be fenced in and blocked off while they're building the hotel. And one thing I've told Wizard nonstop every time I hang out with them is, I really hope to God they get rid of the fingerprint scanners. They go to the facial recognition, because I have to tell you, I know a lot of people don't like how they did it with Disneyland, but I have to tell you, compared to their old system, I love it a lot better. I get into Disneyland, or I get into DCA so much faster.
Oh,
it's ridiculous how much faster.
No, I agree with you. Where you just scan your ticket or your pass, right? You get in. And I was worried about that, Conductor. I really was, because I've been to Target, I've been to the supermarket where that self checkout thing, and it's like you get a lot of people trying to do the self checkout, and it's a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? So I was worried, like, okay, you're gonna depend on people to scan their own stuff. It's gonna cause a bottleneck or whatever, and it really hasn't. It's actually been pretty smooth, you know. So,
well, the kind of justify your comment, I know with the Amazon grocery store, because I have one where I'm at. Right when it opened, there were issues right off the bat, because you walk in there. I don't know if anyone's been to an Amazon grocery store, but you walk in, literally the whole ceiling. They must have probably about 800 cameras hanging from the ceiling, and they have sensors on the shelves. So when you grab something, because you have to scan your Amazon grocery QR code, so you have to go through the app and get the grocery QR code that's linked to your account. And when you grab something off the shelf, it triggers it and adds it to your cart, because it's supposed to be self-efficient, so you don't have to wait in line at a cash register. You could just walk right through, because it'll automatically charge your card on your Amazon account. And a lot of people, when it first started off, a lot of people would grab stuff, they wouldn't recognize it. People would be walking out with merchandise that wasn't even charged their account, so there were issues with that. So there was some issues with that. Even with self checkout, there was issues, but they have evolved obviously dramatically. But
Hey, I have a comment for John. Sure. Whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, go for it.
So John's over here saying, I want a Thor attraction with kind of like how they do a Sword in the Stone, but with Thor's hammer.
That's
okay,
sick.
so I don't know how old you are. So if you're young, my apologies. But if you're old, maybe you've seen this. It's gone now, unfortunately. But Treasure Island in Vegas, that casino had something called the Avenger Station. And I actually attended there. And they have everything you want from your favorite Avengers. And one of the things they had was the Thor hammer. So maybe you could YouTube that, check that out. They did have it. It's just you may have missed it.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And then John kind of, his next comment, he's saying he doesn't want the facial recognition. So I want to kind of ask you guys, why wouldn't people want facial recognition? Is it because their identity gets put into the system where other entities have access? Or
I mean that might be the concern, but here's the thing, Conductor. It's honestly, we're kind of beyond that at this point. I mean, if you're already giving away your fingerprint and all the other information you give them,
sure,
to see my face is not much of a, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm already giving Universal my financial information, my name, my address, for all that stuff, for my annual pass, and I'm giving them my fingerprint too. So okay, so now they can scan my face. They already have a shit ton of my information anyway. So for me, I understand the concern, but a lot of these companies already have everything they could possibly have on you anyway.
Oh, sure.
I don't really know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? This is my opinion.
Unless you're stealing left and right. If you're trying to get over on theme parks, you don't want your facial recognition because they'll catch who you are. I guess I can see it, because then your scheming plans won't work anymore.
No, exactly. And these companies, you're 100% right, Tommy. And these companies like Universal and Disney love the facial recognition, because it's also easier to police the bans when they ban somebody. Like, you can scan it, and Wizards has a great point here. Your phone gives all your info away. It does everything.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, Disney knows what you had for lunch. Literally, they know what you had for lunch.
Yeah,
so, literally. Yeah,
email for real.
Yeah,
right.
And Jared says, for the Orlando parks, the facial recognition works amazing, and that's what I want here in Hollywood. If I don't have to sit there and wait behind, a family of four to try to figure out how to get their thumbprint on the damn scanner correctly, and wait 10 minutes while the line next to me, which I thought was going to be longer, freaking breezes right through, that irritates the hell out of me, and I don't like that. And that's something also that I like about Disneyland with their security, is they kind of separate, and I hope the 3 security hubs do this, where they have different areas or different lines for people that have strollers and whatnot. Then they have other lines where, if you have a bag, go in this line. If you don't have a bag and you're just yourself, you go in this line. That way, the guest flows in so much easier. I have to say it flows in so much easier. And then again, Wizard saying that the facial recognition is amazing. I think we need it. Out here in Hollywood, I think we're in the dinosaur age. We need to get rid of fingerprint scanner. Sorry.
Right. Well, here's the thing. John's saying if you know anything about how it's used from a security standpoint, you would know it's not good for society, jobs, and people in general. Yeah, I don't know from a security standpoint, John. To be fair, I really don't. I'm not in that industry. In terms of jobs, though, you're always going to see a loss of jobs with any new technology. I mean, new jobs are created with technology, but new jobs are also taken away, right? Like, for example, when they went from hand-drawn animation to CGI, we lost ink and paint. The whole ink and paint people, we lost. That's just one example of when we went from home video VHS to streaming, we lost jobs. People that work at Blockbuster and these, what I'm saying. So there's always an element of that. It's always unfortunate. I always hate to see someone lose their job, but at the same time, do we not progress technology because we can't lose a job? I mean, what I'm saying? It's a balancing act.
I think we should progress technology, but where it doesn't take people's jobs. But unfortunately, that's the route it's going. We're going into the Jetsons era where literally robotics and tech basically do everything for you. Like, we can have a robot perform surgery, like they don't even have like actual doctors utilizing their own hands anymore. And it's like, it's like I love the new technology, it's progressed, but I feel like man is killing man, because we're the ones that are building this stuff. We're the ones that are creating it, but yet we're creating our replacements.
Yeah. But see, and a lot of people in the chat are not too thrilled about facial recognition. The thing, I don't know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. The people that go to the theme parks like us, and then probably everyone in the chat, people complain. I'm not saying that our guests in the chat or even us, but people do complain that a lot of times, and again, I reference back to Disneyland with some of the things they're doing, but just it goes with all theme parks that, it's not, the guest flow is not as good as it should be. So these theme parks are trying to come up with new ways to make guest experiences a lot better, a lot easier, a lot funner, a lot more productive. So when they're trying to incorporate facial recognition, which can get, let's say the thumbprint scanner, which we currently have, can maybe get, I don't know, 100 guests per hour, compared to the facial recognition that could probably do about 500 to 1,000 per hour. You can't have it both ways. You can't sit there and complain that the infrastructure sucks and that I'm waiting to get into the park and it's taking forever. But then when these parks trying to incorporate a new type of way to make that progress go faster, then people are complaining about, oh, I don't want that. It's like, how many other ideas do we have? And George makes a great point as well. George, basically said we're creating these new technologies that are replacing us. And I've even said it as well. Eventually, not now because AI is too new and it's kind of unstable, but I could see 15, 20 years down the road from now, when we're that much older, I could see AI being incorporated into the theme parks, maybe as a backstage type thing, but it's going to help the infrastructure a lot more. And we're like George and OG and all of us can agree, we're in that new techie area of a millennium. We can't sit there and keep nostalgic ways of doing things. We need to be more productive, and if that means incorporating new techs into the park to sit there and make the guest experience better, I'm open to it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people aren't, and maybe they'll warm up to the idea when the tech gets more involved or evolved, you know, as time goes on. But that's the direction we're heading in.
Every single new thing is going to replace some kind of job. Like us being YouTubers, we probably replaced a job of some kind doing this kind of content on the internet.
Sure.
I mean, there's always going to be a job or jobs that are replaced when you introduce something new. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not trying to sound insensitive. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want anyone to lose their job either. But at the end of the day, though, yeah, I mean, none of us want to see that. But it's just the reality of the situation. When technology progresses, there's going to be job losses, you know, whatever it is. You know,
and facial recognition is at the airports anyway. So really just depends what your meter is of travel and distance and how you actually participate in the world. You know, it's like, it's almost like day to day, like if you go to the airport all the time.
Yeah. No, well said.
George, what do you think about this with the facial recognition? Do you think Universal, at least here on the West Coast, should, you know, match its counterpart in the East Coast and stop being in the dinosaur age?
When it comes to facial recognition for that part of the technology, like I'm okay with it, as you guys were already mentioning. They basically already have all our lives in their record books. You know, but my thing is, it has to be. It has to be. Thank you, Kiki and Luca. I greatly appreciate you, man. My thing is, I think it just depends on like what the technology is utilizing for. Like, for instance, like I'm good with like the facial recognition, because again, us just having our phones, like anytime you put in your information on your phone, somebody out there is following you. Chances are we're all pretty much hacked. You know, you automatically think that you're not hacked. You try to do cybersecurity and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But chances are someone has your information. It's out there on the web. What was that?
Oh, here, hold on. Here we go. Here. Phone tapped.
I didn't even hear it.
God.
What was I saying?
I
don't know. You can move on.
Oh God. You see that?
They got his nudes. They got your nudes, George.
Oh God.
No.
They're hearing this conversation.
Yeah, you could move on. Go ahead.
Okay. Sounds good. No, but to top it all off, I think these theme parks are really going to incorporate the IT aspect of it, and I think it needs to happen to not only involve guest experience, but to also help the infrastructure for the back of house to also help guest experience. And I think that's the most important thing, because when you look at it, anytime you go to a theme park, or you go to a concert, or you buy something on Amazon, they always send you emails. Always. How was your experience? How was this product you bought? What do you think of the band that played at the Honda Center? What do you think about this movie? They always want that guest experience. And again, social media is where it's at. You know what I mean? Someone can post a comment about and a lot of times it goes viral, and people just start commenting like crazy. So again, it's where it's at. The last thing I want to talk about before we end is the construction. When you look at Universal and you look at Disney, I want to ask you, because we're both kind of, all four of us are kind of on both sides. We love Disneyland, but we also love Universal. Why do you think Disneyland or the Walt Disney Company takes so much longer to build something than its counterpart, Universal? Why do you think and I've said it before, why do you think they love going through the red tape while Universal seems like they blow right through it? Why is that?
Because I think that Disney, and I've talked to Wizard about this, Disney loves to spread the expenses out over as many fiscal periods as possible.
They do.
Right. And so that's what it is. And I think Universal just has a different strategy. It's not that Universal has better construction workers or anything like that. It's just that Disney purposely kind of like, spaces it out. So yeah, exactly. There you go. Wizard said it.
Well, see, that's the other thing. Maybe I'm just too privy to Universal. I again, financially, I understand Disney's standpoint. I really do, but there has to be a balancing act. You can't sit there and increase prices as high as you do and justify it and say, oh, well, the thing that we announced 3 years ago, it's going to take another 4 years to build. Meanwhile, we might see four new price hikes and it's still not done. So again, I don't like that aspect. Compared to Universal, yes, they do increase prices, but usually when they increase prices, it's justified. I kind of feel maybe not here on the West Coast because we're a smaller park, but on the East Coast, it's justified. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah, Wizard here says Universal builds quickly here, so that comment is invalid. So yeah, Apache's making the point that it's a California versus Florida thing. But Wizard is right. I mean, the Fast and Furious coaster out here in California, I mean, that's in LA County. And so that thing is it's moving fast. It's moving fast and furious. But no, 100%. But yeah, I think it's just a Disney thing. I just think, I mean, look, Apache, you're not wrong necessarily where I'm sure it's more expensive to build out here in California. There is more red tape. There's more regulation, that is a thing. You're not wrong on that. But I mean, I don't know if that's the reason for this though, because like Wizard's saying, I mean, Universal doesn't seem to have that issue. So yeah, I don't know.
See that's what I mean. And again, I'm not blaming Disney entirely because they're playing they're playing the financial game. They're using their quarterly, their quarterly periods to sit there and build stuff and to do it that way. Universal's just like, you know what, the hell with it. We're building it. We don't care about it. We're just going to build it. We don't care. We just go ahead, green light, just build it. So I don't know. That's the way I see it. One other thing I wanted to ask you, and this actually broke today from Universal High. So let me share this real quick, and then we're gonna end tonight. But let me share this real quick.
Oh, by the way, big shout out to Universal High. I actually ran into him at Universal today. Really cool dude, man. It was awesome. Universal High, if you're watching this, it was great seeing you today, brother.
Yeah, it was. He's an awesome guy. I love hanging out with him. Great guy. He has great. He kind of has that bricky mind in a way. I've hung out with him before where he kind of breaks stuff down. He kind of has a different aspect than most of us have. So I love that.
Yeah, but no, he's great. He's a big film guy, so he sees it from that kind of film perspective and all that stuff. Yeah, really cool dude. But go ahead, Conductor. I'm sorry, brother.
No. So it looks like there's more updates with a new permanent fencing that got installed, and then if we scroll up here, it's kind of off in the distance, but they have the ride dummies in the vehicle. So Theme Park Wizard, because I confirmed it was okay with him to say this, but he is hinting at possibly tomorrow, maybe in the morning or maybe at night, we can actually see this ride train. I'm going to call it a train because it has multiple vehicles attached to it, but ride train go through the course.
Oh man, that'd be dope, dude. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So I personally feel like that they're going to try to get this up right after the holidays.
Yes.
I think it's going to be early 2026 because right after the holidays, you kind of have that slow burn kind of season where there's not a whole lot going on. Plus, I think they might even want to try to get this up for FanFest.
100%, because FanFest is in April.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, because I know they did this for Super Nintendo World months and months. before its official grand opening. Do you think we might have something where we could see soft previews between team members, annual pass holders? Maybe. And again, I'm saying maybe, and not to confuse maybe in the chat, but maybe late December, if not early January.
I think it's a huge possibility, Conductor. A huge possibility. This thing, they're already. It looks like they're gonna start testing. What like tomorrow? You said where they're gonna run this thing through the track. I mean, we're in mid-October right now. You're talking just that gives them like 2 months to kind of do without the testing without people in there. I could see like December, maybe early January, where they got like team members and stuff like that. 100%, man. 100%.
I love Justin's comment. Universal won't let Dom Toretto take the Grinch spotlight.
That's a good point. So I'm still sticking with it. I've been saying this for a year. I still think they're going to take the same time that they did the grand opening of Super Nintendo World. I think it's going to be in February. I think that will be the public's grand opening. Will be February. That's 2 months before FanFest. So, Universal tends to do it in between certain things. It should work out. I'm still rocking with that. I'm like foolproof on that.
Yeah. 100%. And I want to go to Zachary, his comment. Universal Studios, both in Hollywood and Orlando, are aggressively go-getters, and they will continue to be aggressive. They started the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket replacement and lost calling it Demolite. So I want to quote Zachary on this, because I have to commend Universal. Rip Ride Rocket still has the lift hill, still up as they're demoing it, but yet on the other side of the project, they're already starting to put footers in. They're already starting to, do infrastructure work for support columns for the new coaster. And the old one hasn't even fully been ripped out yet. So I have to commend Universal for, risk taking like that. It's phenomenal. I've never seen a company do that. And then M. Garcia said Universal Kids Park is moving kind of slow in, and that's in Texas. It depends on what budget they have. Do you really think Universal really has a budget, or they just say, you know what, we have the money, we're not going to announce how much money we have, just go for it, green light, build it?
Well, no, they have a budget, but I do think that Universal Kids Park budget is, I'm sure, on the low end for sure. I mean, it's a kid park. It's meant to compete with these regional parks like Legoland and the Peppa Pig thing and all that stuff. So it's going to be a small budget. Yeah, I mean they have a budget. I don't know if that. I'm not really privy, to be quite honest with you, in terms of like the Universal stuff, in terms of like why that's moving slower than some of their other projects. But I mean, that's a possibility. M. Garcia, 100%.
No, 100%.
Well, Universal's going to have some competition with that kids park, because that Mattel park's opening up in Arizona, with Thomas the Train, Hot Wheels, Barbie. There's going to be a lot going on for kids. So, I mean, who's going to win first? Who's going to win the race to the date,
Yeah, that's going to be fire too.
Yeah, 100%. So, and one thing I want to touch upon also, while we're talking about Universal compared to Disney, is one thing I want to ask you, gentlemen, and this will be the final thing, I promise, because I can ramble on for hours. Is the thing is Universal Hollywood. I've been using this offering for the last couple years since I've been a Platinum Pass holder, is that they offer a free ticket admission to HHN if you're a Platinum Pass holder, and it's almost been proven to this point. Obviously there's still room for debate, but it seems like Universal After Dark events seem to be overshadowing Disney After Dark events as the better After Dark events. And then on top of that, Disney, paying $1,900 for the Inspire, which me and George have, and then OG, you kind of have something like that. Paying that type of price, and we can't even get a free admission for Oogie Boogie. Do you think that's a missed opportunity for Disney to not offer something like that, or do you think they're trying to play a different route?
Yeah, absolutely. No, they to not give a free, especially for the prices that they're now going to be asking for, especially moving forward. They should, once it hits up to like 2,500 or even 3,000, because I know it's going to end up going there one way or the other, they should give an Oogie Boogie and maybe like another after hours event included, because at least it offsets it. Plus, it also gives us the fact that, hey, we're getting something for all this money. But again, is Disney going to do that? No, because they know they have everybody in their back pocket. Everybody knows the name of Disney, and we're all going to pay for it no matter what. So why should they spend more money if they don't have to?
Exactly. And one thing I have to say about that is if Disney took a page out of Universal's book and offered something like that, that would be awesome. The other thing me and George have talked about is with D23, because that's like, I'm going to say it as I see it, call it as I see it. It's like Armageddon trying to get tickets for that. It's horrible. And one thing I can see is, and George brought it up, so I'm going to give him credit for this. If you're an Inspired key holder and you're paying $1,900 as of today, if you bought an Inspired key today, and you're a D23 Gold member, should there be some type of incentive, having two different paid memberships for the Disney company? Should you be at a different tier level to buy a D23 ticket, since they're so horrendous to try to get?
I personally think that if you have the highest tier Magic Key plus a gold membership of D23, both of them together, I feel like that should put you in a separate category where you get first chance at tickets.
Absolutely. OG, you agree with that?
Yes, I completely agree with that. 100%. You should have first dibs on that. You know what I'm saying?
Can you bring up Big Samus's question? Would you guys prefer Disney after hours events if they were held at DCA instead, but offered more entertainment? I would be okay with that, Big Samus, as long as they actually give us entertainment for these after hours events. That's the problem with Disney's nightly events. Like when they give us something firsthand, like 90s night and Disney Channel night, when they give us the first time around, it's a banger. They give us fireworks, they give us nightly entertainment, they play good music, and then when they bring it around the second time around, it's a diluted version of the first time that they've done it. So I'm okay with them doing it at DCA, as long I'm even good with them doing it at Disneyland, as long as what you're paying for, you're getting good quality stuff out of it. But again,
you know what?
As they know, we're
go ahead, keep going. Right. So you know what? Just to bring it back to the beginning of the conversation, when we started with just always like iOS Disney, always on the phone, I kind of feel like I like going to the After Dark events, and the ones that are held at Disneyland feel different than Oogie Boogie at DCA. And I'll give you an example. Is I tend to like to try out the foods, the themed items, and they actually drop a lot of themed foods and drinks for these After Dark events that you only could get at this event. So for me, is planning out all the food on your phone, trying to hit the mark of your reservation time of when you put the order in for the food, and still being able to meet these characters and enjoy the event. I feel like I'm on my phone more at the After Dark events at Disneyland than I would be if I was at Oogie Boogie for DCA.
That's a fair point, Tommy. And the other thing too is I think with a lot of these after hours events, it also kind of depends on what the after hour event is. Like Oogie Boogie is perfect for DCA. I think Halloween is actually better at DCA because you can get a little bit more edgy. I don't know. putting like a Halloween thing in Disneyland, you have to automatically water it down to some degree because it's like a castle park, you know. But stuff like, you know, for like, I know it's not an after hours thing, but stuff like Christmas feels better and more natural at Disneyland, though, right? So it kind of like, for me, it's kind of like, you know, what the theme of it is kind of depends on what I'm wanting, you know, in terms of what park.
And
100%.
100% agree, because when you look at a comparison, when you look at a comparison HHN, which again, there really isn't a comparison, but when you look at Oogie Boogie at DCA, first of all, I personally think meaning DCA is more of that edgier park. They could go a lot more darker, a lot more edgier than they already have. They could stop bringing back stuff, you know, that they've brought in years past. They can bring new characters, new IP to the event. And why they decide not to do that, I have no idea. I don't know if they have, you know, deals behind doors. You know what I mean? You know, where they have a contract. Oh yeah, we're gonna have these set of characters, or we're gonna have this for the next 5 Oogie Boogies for the next 5 years. I don't know what it is, but that's why I kind of refuse to. I kind of feel like, you know, it's something I'm not willing to go back to Oogie Boogie until they change that aspect, until they start bringing new stuff to the event and stop bringing the same thing. And like George says, with what was it, the 90s night? You know, who in the hell pays that?
Don't even get me started. All you have to say is 90s night. Okay. I will go on my Italiana rant.
Oh God.
I will go. You know what? You already went there. I'm already doing it. Okay, so let me break it down. Here we go.
Oh shit.
Okay, so here's my thing with 90s night. I couldn't wait to do this, because when I watched it on YouTube, it was like a banger. They played all the Disney afternoon music. You know, they played the fireworks. We got, like, they played DuckTales, Eye to Eye, Darkwing Duck. They had all the characters around on Main Street where you could literally just walk up to them and take a picture. I go I go to 90s night, and what do I get? I get wooden cardboard cutouts of the fucking gummy bears. I missed the opportunity to meet Darkwing Duck because you had to get a wristband, which they didn't tell us we had to get a wristband up until 3 hours before the event even started. I missed my opportunity to meet Darkwing Duck. I couldn't meet Huey, Dewey, and Louie. It was the Powerline little concert thing that they did in Tomorrowland. That was kind of fun, but they were. Oh, Nathan, I'm a bag full of kernels and I'm popping. But they held all that stuff on Main Street. It was a much more bigger spectacular, and we basically got 90s night light. They shouldn't have called it 90s night. They should have called it 90s light. That's what they should have.
Well, and that's why I've been saying for a long time, Universal is just doing it better when it comes to after hours events, whether it be HHN, whether it be FanFest. Universal is knocking out of the park. Universal is hungry right now, and really, honestly, Disney with these after hours events, because a lot of people bitch online, but they don't pay, they don't vote with their wallets, so they still go to these after hours events. And you know what? It shows Disney that hey, we can throw whatever slop at you, and you're still going to eat it. Like, that's the thing. Like, Universal is trying; they're actually giving a shit, and Disney isn't. That's the difference, and it shows.
I have to also say too. 2 days ago, I just finished my second round of HHN. I went 15 hours at Universal. Like, my body is hurting right now, but you know what? That it hurts in a good way, because I'm actually getting my money's worth, where you can get 15 hours of HHN, and for an after hours night at Disney, which is almost like twice the price, you're getting 3/4 less of a time to do everything. And here's the thing, you don't even get everything done. You could barely get whatever else that they have because they don't tell you ahead of time. They don't give you a game plan. When I did HHN the day before, or was it yesterday? I can't even remember. Yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is. We ended up doing all 8 houses. Well, not 8 houses, sorry. 7 out of the 8 houses. We just didn't do Five Nights at Freddy's because for me, this is a hot topic. I love the franchise. As for the house goes, I wasn't a fan of the house. I wish that they would have turned it into more of a show.
I'm sure.
Rather than a walkthrough house, but that's another topic for another time.
Yeah.
7 out of the 8 houses, but then we also doubled on some of those. Sorry, Perry. Yeah, you got the houses, man. But and then we doubled up on some of the houses. So because we did Wyatt 6, Terrifier. Oh, here's another little tidbit for everyone that's going into HHN for the 5:30 slot. They started opening up Terrifier at 5 p.m. It was literally a 5-minute wait that we got through Terrifier.
Yeah. And I just want to answer this real quick. My theme park fanatic, that was Orange Grove 55 sent that out. So welcome to Orange Grove 55. You're going to love his content. It's absolutely amazing. But
thank you, I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. No, but that's the difference. When you look at the after hours event at Disney compared to Universal, and that's another thing. And I don't want to keep rambling on because I can go in there a couple hours, but what? I won't be able to go to work if I keep it up. No.
Do you work tonight or no?
Yeah, 2 a.m. 2 a.m., brother. I'm the leader right now, man.
Is that why I get text messages from you at like the middle of the night? I'm like, I thought you were trying to come on to me, Conductor, but no, you're just working. That's why. Okay.
I
Graveyard shift.
I thought Webbo was cheating on George and he was going to you. The hell is
that? No. Me and Webbo have a thing now. You know what I'm saying, bro?
He moved on from the Italiano.
Oh man. See, you have a new partner now, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, so that's why I get messages from you at 3:00 in the morning.
Well, of course, but good thing. Because what did I text you about?
It was about what the hell was it? Oh, was it the prices? It was the prices.
Yeah. George wakes up like a nuclear bomb was going off. What? And he checks his phone. Oh shit! And that was 3:00 in the morning.
You know what's the ironic part of that? I probably went to bed like a half hour before you actually text me that.
So
dude, I'm a night owl.
Yeah, you are.
A night owl? Night owl.
Or that walking path. Gotta love those walking paths.
You know what's funny? I used to be. Well, I still am a morning person because I have to wake up early for work, and my body is just conditioned like that and shit. But honestly, lately I've been staying up a little later than I usually do.
Same. It's crazy. No, but just to tie it off, it is when you look at both parks doing an after hours event, I kind of feel that Universal again wins that battle because everything at Disneyland, when you want to go meet a character, it's an instant line, and they don't a lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of times, like George said with his experience, I'm going to leave it there. His experience, they weren't forefront about the information compared to Universal. They're forefront, I feel, with meet and greets, what the event offers, and a lot of times the characters are just roaming around. So it's not like, oh, he's queued up in this little area here, and you have to wait freaking 45 minutes to see it. Now, granted, I had to do that for Yoshi, but that was totally worth it. That was besides the point.
Yoshi was worth it. Now, a lot of people were saying that the egg hunt thing wasn't worth it. I didn't get a chance to try it, but a lot of people were saying that it wasn't worth it. And then you could only pick one of the other Yoshis.
I feel like a lot of that stuff is for little kids. Even the Disney stuff, where you hunt for things. I don't know. I feel like that, if I'm a kid or have kids, that's fun. But as a grown ass man, I'm not hunting for.
Honestly, I'm going to push back on that because.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah,
bro.
because Abby and I did the Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit at DCA. We're going to do the Disneyland one, and then Downtown Disney. Excuse me, Downtown Disney. Downtown. And honestly, they were not easy at all. You would think that it would be made for kids.
Yeah.
But where they hide these freaking pumpkins,
Oh my
like
God.
you really have to like look for it. So
100%.
I honestly, but I like that challenge. I don't want something that's real simple and easy where it's like, oh, where's the pumpkin of like, where's the Minnie Mouse pumpkin, and boom, it's like right in front of you. No, they actually make you look. And there are some pumpkins, which I'm not going to give it away in case any of you want to do it, or you can go over to Hollow Gelato and check out our DCA Pumpkin Pursuit. There are some of them that are very hidden.
God, no, but
it's a good comment.
But to kind of add to that, FanFest, because you got an actual physical medallion for going to the different areas for FanFest. I love that. So you kind of get incentivized to do something like that. If the parks are offering something like that, I'm totally in. If it's just for, oh, well, you might get a sticker, I'm like, okay, well, am I going to get a beer with that, or are you just going to give me some sticker that's probably going to get ruined as soon as I go on Tiana's or some bullshit? What the hell is
yeah.
know?
I'm not into that. Actually, there was one kind of, I guess it would be a scavenger hunt thing. This was like a decade ago. This is back in 2014. It was the Adventureland Trading Company. And they actually gave away, remember that? They actually gave away really dope prizes. It was like these like wooden, like kind of like pieces. Like there was a wooden skull, a wooden piranha, a wooden. That. Yeah, they were dope, dude. They were dope.
See, that's that's old school Disney for you. That's not this new techie. Oh, well, instead of giving you physical merchandise that we actually have to pay serious money for, we're going to give you a sticker instead. Have a good day.
Exactly. I'm a grown ass man. I want some cool prizes. I don't. You know what I'm saying, dude? I'm a grown.
But
I know.
But again, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank our great moderators in the chat, our guests. Orange Go 55.
You cannot be serious that you're going to end this at 2 hours and 41 seconds and not hit the 3 hour mark.
You want me to hit the 3
My ass is numb as it is. You might as well should just hit the 3 hour mark.
Sorry. I have to appease George. I have to do it. Wait, what?
George, I thought your ass was numb. What happened there, bro?
Yeah, see, I couldn't feel it.
Oh my God. You're disgusting. Wow.
Bring on the
I think George needs a bidet.
I need a bidet. Yeah, I need the bidet.
Go to Costco. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Well, hey, conductor, those signature bidets, man. They're no joke, man. They're no joke. The Kirkland signature.
George's butt got bidet.
It got bidet.
It got bidet.
George, you hiding something from us, buddy?
What's that?
You said your butt got bidet.
No, Peter said it.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's hilarious.
Oh God.
Have we talked about baddies yet? No, we haven't, Peter. Actually, we're gonna dedicate that for OG55. Yeah, we'll do a live this week of all dedicated baddies. We'll have you on as a guest.
But I can promise you, Giant Peter, I'm gonna tell you this. When me and OG were at, what was it, Citrico?
Yeah, the Mexican bar at downtown Disney.
We had a nice lady friend and her boyfriend next to me, and she was hitting on OG right next to her boyfriend. So you can imagine what comfort level she felt.
Well, it was funny because I showed her. I'm like, oh look, there's a heart in my beer. Right? Remember that, conductor?
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, that means you're gonna find love at Disneyland. And then she goes, or maybe downtown Disney.
Oh God! And then she was batting her eyes at him. And again,
that was fun.
This is all in front of her boyfriend. So I'm like, oh God, is this guy gonna like freak out, or he was actually entertaining the idea. He was in on it. I'm like, what the hell? I wish I could.
There are couples. I mean, there are couples that do. I mean, there are people that are into that shit.
Yeah. You know, it was great. But we'll cover all the baddies on OGBD5, Peter. Don't you worry, brother. I got you.
Hey.
I got you.
Yeah. I love that. Oh my gosh. He says, where was George when all this happened?
I was at the hotel. I had to take a midday nap because I was like up 24 hours.
He was a trooper.
The day before, like as I said, and I hit the wall. But man, I would have loved to have been there because I'm telling you, like if I could get any place to get me my 4 margaritas, that's usually like my window is like my 4 margaritas. Like that's when I become a happy Italiano.
Hey, Tones is in the house. Tones, we love you, man. We do love you.
What's up,
we do.
Tones?
And I want to give a big shout out to Tones. Me and Tommy actually met him at George's birthday a couple months back, and what a nice guy. I know he's going through some medical issues right now, but my hearts and prayers go out to you. Hopefully you get better, and we would love to see you come back to hang out with us at Disneyland. And I know he seriously wants to do Universal Hollywood, which he's never done. So we definitely got to do that the next time he's out this way. Madam Lizelle says, Conductor, this is your first ever Florida trip. Universal Studios Island of Adventure and the brand new Epic Universe. What are you looking forward to the most at each Universal park? Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, Islands of Adventure is my most anticipated, but Epic Universe is right there. But my most anticipated is to see George kind of get excited like a 5-year-old girl seeing my reaction to all this. So I'm actually more excited to see that than the parks. But no, to be honest with you, it's going to be Islands of Adventures because I want to ride Velocicoaster because I want to experience that G-force and kind of prepare myself to what Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift is going to be out here.
I'm very curious to see your afterthought on Velocicoaster because you think it goes fast, and then midpoint you're wrong. It goes even faster. Like you're like,
so bring it on.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bring it on. Come on. Oh my gosh. And then Giant Peter show said Spider-Man is his number one. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I haven't been to Universal Orlando.
I can understand why. I feel like it's kind of a hit or miss for me, really. I don't know why. Like I don't know if it's because of like it's cool. Like especially like when it first opened in like 2000, like that was like the ride. I will say compared to Web Slingers, definitely knock it out of the ballpark. It is an enjoyable ride. There's just times where I don't know. It's maybe it depends on where you sit.
Sure.
That there's times where it's like a little bit lackluster, but not saying that like it's a bad ride. But I don't know. It's just like depends on where. At least I know where I sit.
So to answer Madame Lazelle's question, I'm excited for Islands of Adventure and also Epic. And well, I'm not going to say it, but there's something I'm going to do at Epic that I've kind of told these gentlemen I'm going to do to kind of prove a point on what's going on at Epic Universe, but I'm not going to say it. But for the Walt Disney World side, because I know someone's going to ask that, my most anticipated park out of all 4 parks is it has to be Epcot because there's nothing else like it. Nothing. And the walk in there, see the different countries and the different pavilions and the kind of, explore that. I'm super excited for that.
You're gonna love it. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on Animal Kingdom. That park is a baddie.
No, I'm not, because I wanna jump on the tiger and go right in the safari. So I definitely want to do that.
Is that what they call her now?
Go what?
Is that what they call her now?
Well, as long as they have bidets, you damn well believe it.
Hey, Giant Peter says here, Conductor and OG first row of Cosmic Rewind. You gonna be my? Are you gonna be my right? Are you gonna be my riding buddy?
I am. I'll hold you if you get scared. I promise.
Oh, I would love that. Can't two straight guys just cuddle on Cosmic Rewind? Come on now.
No.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man, I would love to see the photo taken of that. The two of you holding each other ever so gently.
We're
And
doing
then-
a photo.
I swear to God, like you guys really should do that just for the photo.
We're doing it. 100%.
Oh, we're doing it. Oh, 100%. Oh, Mademoiselle, by the way, you have excellent taste in theme parks. Animal Kingdom is my favorite as well. That park is absolutely incredible. It's so unique compared to like anything else, you know? Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Nathan says Epcot is great, but Hollywood Studios took me by surprise. That villain show is so good. I've never seen it. So
you know what's crazy, Nathan? I haven't seen the villain show either, but I was telling George when we went down there 2 years ago, Hollywood Studios was actually a better park than I expected. It's still not messing with Epcot or Animal Kingdom, but it was better than all the crap I hear about it online. So I will say that.
Well, now
I will say that.
Now it's going to be Wall City with everything it's turning into. The Giant Peter's Adventure said it's going to be like Rose and Jack. Oh God, don't compare me to Leonardo DiCaprio because now he's super high now.
Well, actually, no. What I would like to see is actually the opposite. I would have you. I would have you stand in for Rose, and then have OG in the back of you, but you could just see the peak of his hair.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Look at that! Look at that hair, bro. You can really like, you know.
It is pretty fluffy. I can see it on camera.
It's very fluffy. It's very fluffy. I use sea salt spray. Actually, I do. It actually, I don't know if you guys ever use that sea salt spray. It actually works wonders. Well, really? Actually, Conductor, you don't have any hair, so you probably wouldn't use it.
No, absolutely not. I hate long hair. At least for me, I do. Oh my gosh. Zachary says Islands of Adventure is amazing. Can't wait for Epic next month. He's going next month. And a buddy of mine at work, he's actually going in January or February. So he's going right before we go. So he's super excited for that. Giant Peter said Hollywood Studios was a fun park. I kind of like it more than Magic Kingdom.
I mean, kind of. I mean, because you know what, Peter? Like, I'm a Disneyland guy, and like Disneyland's the GOAT when it comes to castle parks. And Magic Kingdom really just kind of, it felt like live action Disneyland to me. It checked all the boxes, but it felt really soulless to me. Yeah. I mean, at least Hollywood was better than I was expecting. And yeah, we do need a hair care video. You know what, M. Garcia? That's coming. Don't you worry. We will absolutely. I'll bring it. I'll bring it.
Okay, so this is the idea I have for that. So OG goes into a CVS and he kind of shows the showcase of the different hairsprays, and he's like, okay, this one sucks, this one's okay, this one sucks, this is the one I buy right here, this one right here, and he gets sponsored. I would love that. Exactly.
And then Daddy Josh shows up in the chat and he co-signs. He's like, oh yeah, OG's right, that's like the best, hairspray you could buy.
Hey, you know what will happen with that? That would be funny. So their hair cutting salons, because I know they have one at Walt Disney World. I don't think they have one at Disneyland, but it would be funny if they did. And that would happen. And they're like, yeah, this is sponsored by Orange Grove 55 and blah, 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 blah. That would be cool.
Dude.
I think it'd be funny if Josh did come in and said, oh yeah, I use it on my pubes all the time.
His pubes. Well, Josh probably could. He probably uses the fancy shit even for his pubes.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy's a rich guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my theme park fanatic, don't sleep on Revenge of the Mummy. I opened that ride decades ago. It's awesome. Yeah, I heard the one over there in Florida is better than the one I hear in Cali.
Yeah, it is definitely.
I might have to add that to my list, George. I might have to ride it.
I would, as much as I would say, go on everything that's not involved out here.
Yeah,
the Mummy, I would suggest could probably be one exception because it is much better than the one out here.
Yeah, definitely. And before I continue with the comments, because we still have 8 minutes, so I can indulge George here. Tommy, I want to ask you, because I haven't asked you yet, because I want to go back to what Madame Lizelle was saying. What are you most excited for the Universal parks out there? What are you looking forward towards?
Just Universal, for sure. Epic Universe, man. I'm ready to hit Darkmoor. I want to see the Universal Monsters Land for sure. And I know people kind of put it on the back burner, but I want to see Donkey Kong Country. I definitely got to get in there and catch the vibes and check that out.
Piece of advice: when we go on Donkey Kong, if you're having like a bag or something, put your phone not in your side pocket.
Because it hits, it go like this, right?
It broke Abby's phone.
Oh shit!
Oh wow! Yeah, I heard it kind of bounces you around, but I guess a lot of other coasters there do. So I'm cool with it. I'm comfortable with it. I think I can handle it. So I'll be all right. I think.
I just heard the only thing I heard about that ride is it's kind of bananas. That's all I heard. So I don't know. Take it for what you.
Well, that's all right. You know, I'll make sure to have a banana split before I go on the banana ride.
There you go. Absolutely.
So the
all right. Well, quit monkeying around and get on with the next comment.
Damn, straight to the point. Shit, you have a date with a bidet or what? Man,
I could feel like one stir, and I could probably use it.
Oh God. Okay, never mind.
Hey, you asked. So see, this is someone asked.
Rude. Giant Peter's of interest said, and the food options too. Oga's Toy Story Barbecue, Brown Derby, and Sci-Fi 50s prime time. So Giant Peter's of interest, that is the wheelhouse for Tommy Toon World and his channel with the food reviews.
Yeah. Dude, okay, I want to give Tommy a big shout out right now. I had a little time with Tommy at HHN, and this guy puts a lot of love into his content. Everyone, you need to subscribe to Tommy Toon World. This dude is doing it. I also want to give him a big shout out. He did a great like B-roll for my channel, for my bar chat with Wizard and stuff. It was like fire. And so this guy does a lot of great work. And don't sleep on his channel. Check him out. 100%.
Thank you.
Absolutely not.
I appreciate you.
Next comment. Nathan says the only thing Magic Kingdom has one up on Disneyland is their Tomorrowland, and the fact that they have the Country Bears. Well, I'm going to add that, and they have a People Mover that actually works,
and a Carousel of Progress,
and a Carousel of Progress.
And I'd even say honestly, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I know it's a fast ride, like as far as like time length goes, but honestly, it's a cool ride. Like when you like the feel like inside the little mine carts and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe says, damn, I was damn, OG editing skills are going crazy. No, that's all Tommy Toon. and that banger reel too. The Chucky Bar one on Instagram. That was Tommy. Yep. And that was all Tommy. So yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah, but we're all cut from the same cloth. We all a team here. So
yeah,
we all share. It's all good. Yeah.
Giant Peter says, I hate Mummy in Hollywood. After going on the coaster at Orlando and Paris, it is probably the worst coaster I've ever been on.
Peter, is Paris's Mummy different from Orlando's? Or is it pretty much the same?
More extract of you know what ours reminds me of, especially when it stops at that one point with the screens with the Beatles and then goes backwards. Basically, if the way I see it is, if you ate something before you went on that attraction and you had second thoughts about eating it, it's a good way to upchuck that, because you slam on that.
There you go.
Honest.
Absolutely.
Nathan says, I'm about to visit Disneyland Paris. Hey, from London. Wow, he's all the way in London. Wow, shout out to Nathan. Believe me, Tokyo is the next on my list. I heard Tokyo is amazing. And shout out to oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Tommy, help me out. Our friend that loves going to Tokyo Disney out there, the world traveler.
I'm not sure, man.
The one that does the marathons. Help me out. I'm drawing a blank. Jason Hill.
Oh, Jason Hill. Oh, dude, he's a good dude, man. I love Jason.
He swears by that park. So one of these years we all have to travel out there, as long as OG stays on the path and doesn't divert.
Oh yeah, Peter. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't even know why I asked if it was Paris. Yeah, because Universal doesn't have Paris. I mean, Paris doesn't have. Oh my God.
Universal. Actually, no, you're wrong. Universal does have Paris in Epic Universe.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
They true.
I can't talk. As I said, I'm still like on 15 hours of HHN. Like,
Hey, you pushed it.
Yeah. Well, we're going another 2 hours, man. We're gonna hit 5 hours, you know, and it's just
I said 3. Dude, you got less than 1 minute. So.
Well, but once we pass 3, if he goes to 301, then we might as well go to 4, right?
Right. And then it'll eventually be Conductor driving to work and actually going to work, and we'll still be sitting here, you know.
Oh hell, why don't we just hit it up to 88?
Exactly.
Go.
Jeez, no business.
Did you say 88 miles per hour, George?
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. And then see, you got Wizard going now. You stirred him up. Nice going, George. Nice going. Nice. Nathan says, just visiting London, don't live here. Fellow West Side guys, by the way of Seattle.
Oh wait, wrong one. Oh damn. Yeah, that I totally dude, I fumbled that. Here.
Hi.
There we go. West Side guys. Thank you, Nathan.
West Side.
Hi.
Oh my god.
Please go to 4. We'll go to 4 next time. I don't know if we're going to 4 tonight, buddy.
Oh, hell no.
Hey,
what's that?
no, speaking of West Side guys, Tommy, you and I gotta do a video on that Drake lawsuit.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. We can lock in.
Nathan says, hey, you all are helping me with jet lag, so keep talking away.
Hey, nice, man. Glad to help you out.
Yeah.
Oh
Tommy
gosh.
looks like he's in the middle of jet lag right now.
No, fuck. Hey, I'm hanging in there. I could do it now. I could do it. I'm all good.
Giant Peter Show said, I already have George, OG, and Abby's bags for Paris. I might have to start packing Conductors and Tommy's too. Okay, I'm down.
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's do it.
hey, I'm down. Check out some female entertainment over there, to say it lightly.
I never know what direction Conductor's gonna go in.
Ever, bro. Ever. Ever.
I love it.
In life,
I love it.
too. In life, not recording, in life. Just you never know what's gonna occur when you're with Conductor.
Would Disney ever have a show like Waterworld at Disneyland or DCA?
I don't know. They don't really seem a stunt show. Probably not. I mean, if it was like the Eisner era in the '90s, I would have said yeah. I don't think this current. Yeah,
I think.
Well, we get Peter Pan versus Captain Hook during Fantasmic. I mean,
yeah,
that's true.
What else you want?
But a more justification, it's on the East Coast, is the Indiana Jones stunt show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the closest
I
I
am
can.
curious to know like how much longer they're going to keep those shows going at the studios.
I don't know. See, that's the other thing I have a problem with, even with Universal Islands of Adventure, because they have multiple big, and I mean big, stages for these shows that are just sitting there abandoned, kind of like Hyperion. So I don't know. I think they need to do some, or give me a demo hat and I'm gonna bulldoze the damn thing. So your choice. They have a nightclub at their downtown Disney. Also, there is a Crazy Horse show that is in. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something right now. If that nightclub is at Walt Disney World in Disney Springs, I'm telling you right now, all 4 of us are going to that nightclub, and things are going to get wild. I'm telling you right now.
Must go.
George, you heard it. I know you dedicated a day for our trip planning to do Disney Springs, so we're definitely hitting that nightclub.
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but it's not at Disney Springs, unfortunately.
Damn. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
They took out the Pleasure Island section out. That's where they had one of my favorite places at Pleasure Island. It was called Mannequins. That they had a revolving dance floor.
Hey, you know what we can do, Conductor? We can all go to Vegas. We can try that.
We could.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm down for that.
But if we're already out there, we can make our own nightclub in City Walk. I can think of many ideas.
There you go.
And I'm not talking about George's half shirtless calendar either. I'm talking more wild than that.
Wait.
Oh, God.
Let's get something corrected here. There is no half shirt, I'm going full on, baby.
Well, that's true.
Like this whole thing is coming off.
Why did I say that? Why in the hell did I say that?
And on that note,
Yeah. I was gonna eat after. I was gonna eat after this. Thanks, George.
Yeah.
It's well, no, I'll save it for an after hours. I had a comment for that, but
Well, say
we're gonna do it. This is the Conductor After Dark. Is it? Wait, is this an After Dark? Is this an After Dark Conductor? Are we officially After Dark?
Well, it might as well be. The serious stuff went out 4 minutes ago.
no, I was gonna say if we're talking about eating food, like I mean, like it's not the first time I had food eaten off my body before. So
Oh my god. Oh my god, hairy beast.
I'm not entertaining that idea, so don't even ask me. Don't even. I like my I like my sushi pure, not. Well, I shouldn't say that other part. I like it pure. I'm just gonna say that pure.
You don't want an Italiano hair on it?
No, God no. Even if I was eating a hot dog, no way in hell. No.
Even the hot dog, huh?
Yeah, no. George can kind of convince me all he wants with his secret sauce, but not happening.
oh shit.
Secret sauce. I love it. I love it.
Good God.
Do you remember that scene in Superbad when Jonah Hill says Mama's making a puba salad and she needs some Seth's own dressing?
That was so screwed up.
That movie, classic, bro.
That was a classic movie, 100%. But that was screwed up by far.
Yeah.
Zachary says the Fear Factor live show, that stage has been sitting there abandoned and untouched for most of the year. Well, that's all right. When we go there, we'll sneak in there, and me, George, and OG will put on the show. I can promise you that one.
There you go.
I can promise you that one.
It wasn't honestly like yeah, it's not the first time I've ever done that because I actually did that on the Disney cruise, like in the night show. I made friends with his name's Matt. Actually, I still have his number. We actually, because they were doing like a variety act, and he said we have to win because it was like who can do the best variety act, and he said let's literally like Magic Mike this shit. And so they played. So we went up to the person doing like the DJ part. So we told them to play something like very seductive. So he ended up playing Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," and we literally just stood there on the stage, and we're literally like slowly unbuttoning our shirts till we both like go topless and everything. We had the crowd going though. That was fun.
I'm sure you did.
That was my last. That was actually last year when I was on the 7-night Caribbean on the fantasy.
Were they throwing dollar bills at you or pennies?
This is when I could actually say, after being on over 10 Disney cruises, that when they say it's only just for kids, if you can get on a cruise that it's not greenhorns but people who are seasoned to Disney Cruise Line, damn, you can have so much fun in the night cruises. Unlike the Disney Wish that we went on, see, when you do like the 3 nights, you get all the first timers. They don't know shit. They don't know. We were like the only ones in the freaking nightclub.
Okay, so I kind of feel something's brewing here, where George, after this Orlando trip, is going to say, okay, now we need to do a 7-day cruise, and I'm going to really show you what the real Italiano looks like, uncut.
Yeah. No, his new nickname is going to be Cinnabon because he likes to glaze those buns.
Hot and steamy like the Conductor, right?
Let's see. Maybe says, will that live be on YouTube or George's OnlyFans?
OnlyFans. Gotta be OnlyFans.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
Gotta be OnlyFans.
I'm making George cry. He's laughing so goddamn hard. Always get the crowd going when you go topless. Well, yeah, that's why George is the opening act. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, somewhere.
No, don't downplay yourself, Conductor. You're a sexy motherfucker.
Wow, that's all right. You take the end cap.
I love it. I love it.
God.
Oh yeah, Peter. Yeah, I definitely do diss the Disney cruisers, because especially like the newbies, when they act like they all know what the hell they're doing, and it's like they really don't. So
I can't wait to see you on the cruise. Maybe we should plan that next. All four of us. I want to see that. I really do.
If you want to see that, it has to be a 7-night Caribbean cruise out of Port Canaveral.
Okay, but I'm gonna say a 2027 cruise because my bosses aren't liking me too much, and as soon as I put in the 2-week vacation, they're gonna look at me like I'm a deranged lunatic that needs to be committed to a damn loony hospital. So,
Hey,
2027.
Hey, Giant Peter says Citrico Cinnabons. There you go, glazing those buns, and maybe
I guess now it would be the hollow gelato Cinnabons, because technically you could pretty much do that. I mean, you can make like gelato and mix it in. Have you guys ever had the
oh god,
like the ice cream that's like in between like the donuts?
Yes.
Like yeah. So yeah, basically like that.
There you go. And Conductor is the caboose.
So 2 sandwiches make a whole, right?
Well, it has a hole in it.
Good God.
I think we're done here.
Yeah,
I think we're done here.
Yeah, we're done. That's how I feel with the first timers at Disneyland Paris who do not do Walt Disney World Studios Park. That's interesting wording, how you name it like that. But I'll leave it as that. OG's giving me the warning flag to behave myself.
Oh no, don't worry about me. I love this stuff.
Cinnabon flavored gelato.
There you go.
And you might get a sticker from George too if you get that. I had an ice cream donut. I don't think it's the best. Or Beast? What the hell does that say?
I think it's meant to say the best.
Oh.
Beats, no, it doesn't beat the cronut. He's saying it doesn't beat a croissant donut for him.
Yeah.
Saying that tops is the cronut.
Oh, got it. We're all
the foodie knows what's up. Peter, I got you covered.
Hey, Abby, we lost it 11 minutes ago. We're far beyond that now. It's already off the rails plus more. Justin says, I enjoyed my time at the Studios Park. Well, you can enjoy it a little bit more. Me and George were there, but that's besides the point.
Oh, man. I love it. I love it.
Now I am going to end it before I say something I'm going to regret. But that
was 45 minutes ago, buddy. I know. George, and this is on 4 channels now. So.
I'm going to mute you if you start laughing like you did with the Big Day Talk. I'm going to mute you. You're going to be censored if you start. So don't start. Don't do it.
Oh man,
don't do
it. It. I love it.
But I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank our amazing guests, and this is for real this time, I promise. For this Conductor Sunday live stream, which was awesome all the way through, even with the after hours discussion of almost PG-13 / R-rated talk, but I won't get into that anymore.
Well, Peter said we lost it when George went all Magic Mike on the Disney cruise.
Yeah, we did. Oh wait, where's that comment? See,
right under
Nathan.
Nathan.
Oh God, see now everyone's popping up now. See that? See now I can't even keep track. Didn't I tell you to behave yourself? You're going to be sensitive.
I'm tired. I'm sore. This is what happens. I get punch drunk, and like I don't even need like a freaking drink right now. So it's like
I think you do need a drink,
dude. You know what happens when I have a drink?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm.
You saw me at Black Tap. You saw me at Black Tap.
Yeah, I did, and that's a experience I never want to see ever again. That was not good. Just kidding. It was awesome. No, but I want to thank everybody. I'm going to start with Orange Grove 55. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, no, I want to thank you, Conductor, for being an amazing host as always. Always a good time with you, brother. Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55. We talk a lot about theme parks, a lot of West Coast theme parks. But we also do some Orlando stuff, obviously, and we do international. We do a lot of corporate talk. We break down the quarterly earnings calls for Disney. We do studio talk, all that good stuff. We also have a good time over there. We joke around a lot. So check us out on Orange Grove 55. My good friend, Mr. Webber, my partner in crime over there at OG 55. He has a great playthrough video for vintage Disney games, which is pretty cool. It's a new thing we're doing over there, so check that out. But yeah, you can find me on Orange Grove 55. You can also find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55.
All day with that legendary hairstyle.
Oh, dude.
Never.
The hairstyle needs its own Instagram. You know what I'm saying, Conductor?
And I'm gonna leave George the last because I'm sure he has some comments. Tommy, where can everyone find you on social media?
Hey, it was a good time chilling with you fellas. Conductor, thanks for always being a good host. I appreciate coming on. May you could jump into my world, Tommy Toon World on YouTube. Check out all my food reviews, theme park and Vegas stuff. Then for more day-to-day, for sure, on Instagram is TommyToon_. And a little bit different style on TikTok at TommyToon_world.
And absolutely, and please, I encourage everybody to please go check out Tommy Toon World, my partner in crime when it comes to the theme parks, covering all sorts of content. And please check out his world famous food reviews. It's a must see. So please go check that out. And the one and only spicy after hours Disney Italiano with the shirts off, legendary hair chest over there. Yeah, he's getting wild already. Oh God. Where can everyone find you? See, you're already starting. You see that? You're horrible.
I'm sorry. Okay. Let me try to gather here. Okay. You guys can follow me and Abby on our Wild Wacky Adventures on Hollow Gelato, our YouTube channel, where we give you guys scoops on everything in the theme parks, Disney Cruise Line, where I'm removing my shirt, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm, all that good stuff. Definitely check us out also on Instagram under Hollow Gelato, because with the Filipino dessert Halo means mixing it up. So that's what we do over there on Hollow Gelato.
Absolutely. And again, I want to shout out to all these amazing gentlemen and their channels, and Orange Grove 55, especially on his way to the 10,000 mark subscribers. So keep up the amazing work. Tommy Toon World, again, with his world famous food review videos. George the Disney Italiano with his Hollow Gelato rebranding from what it was with Citrico Central. He's doing an amazing job as well. So please go check out his channel. And I'm Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me on Instagram at Theme_Park_Conductor. You can find me on TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1. And you can find me every Sunday at 7 p.m., sometimes 5, but mainly 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like the one and only Orange Grove 55 with his amazing hair, Tommy Toon World with his world famous food reviews, the Disney Italiano from Hollow Gelato acting like the crazy Italiano he is and entertaining the world famous. And myself driving that hot, steamy caboose like Orange Grove 55 loves to say, down the rails and covering all that theme park news. But catch me next Sunday where we talk more news, and who knows who we might have for a guest next week. We might have George. We might have OG with his peppermint schnapps. Who knows?
You never know.
The sky's
you never know.
You never know. But I want to thank everybody and shout out to all of our amazing moderators. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you next Sunday on Conductor Sunday live stream. Peace out, everybody.
Later, everybody.